Sorry for any delay there. That was just because I was sorting out the mic here. This is a literally entirely live Saturday night coffee time with me, James, in which you'll be able to see everything that's going on within the next space of time that the show takes up. Absolutely uncut, unfiltered, and really just showing pretty much every single detail for you to enjoy. I'm James. I know it says Jim at the bottom of the screen, but that's something that Voltaire's in charge of now. He's also in charge of the chat, so that's not my area or priority. I will be in charge of me being on camera as the host, and also whoever's alongside with me. I'll be in charge of the editing and direction and production of that. So let me just take you through what's happening in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm just eating some chicken, sweet and sour chicken here first. Hello to Jamie there in the chat. Thank you for tuning in, as always. Well, this is, as I say, a live video designed to just present the viewer of the show a insight into the real life behind the scenes of Damn Good Coffee Time, including me eating sweet and sour chicken. And then after this, I'm going to make myself a cup of strongish coffee and then have some porridge after that. And then after I've done all of that, or maybe a little bit in between each of those things, I will talk about anything film, TV, even music, possibly in very small amounts, about the last week and my seeming inability to find anything online to watch, or streaming, I mean, and beyond at least my normal choices, which often can be limited to the BBC's soap opera EastEnders, or YouTube, or maybe some other selection based on films I might find online. Sometimes it can be things I've already seen, of course, and really, I do want to watch new things as much as possible, and I have sort of done that a bit recently. But I would say I am somewhat disappointed, of how, for me at least, I've found watching certain things that I've discovered to watch here and there. Like, I've not really been particularly feeling, any sort of, oh, I've got to keep watching this. It's more like just, okay, let's have a look what's out there. Actually, I mean, I wouldn't have done this video at all, probably, and just showcased the level of, interesting things that go off around here live as a sort of form of reality TV, if it wasn't for one thing that I saw online on Netflix this week. I can't remember I think the title of it is The Hatchet Wielding Hitchhiker, or something to that effect. Let me just check that. That was something which I did watch in full, and it's under an hour and a half. So overall, it was okay. I recommend it to anybody who might be interested in this kind of thing. But oh yeah, there are. I mean, there's a few things here and there that are definitely of interest. It was called. Oh no! Can't remember where it's showing up. Yeah, it's pretty much it's actually in the top 10. I'm not sure whether it's films at the moment. It's more a documentary, I suppose. It's a docudrama, as they would call it. Hatchet Wielding Hitchhiker. It's pretty well known. The guy in it called Ty, I think his name is, or Kai. Yeah. Actually, within the space of 3 months, his story went from being in the news as sort of someone who was doing something good, to quite the opposite in terms of a pretty horrible incident that he's now in prison for a long time, actually. I don't know quite why he got such a long sentence, but I think obviously it's to do with his probably lack of remorse or something. But he's contesting what happened. I won't go into detail particularly about what happened with the crime he's now in prison for, because you may as well watch it if you're interested in it. But there's definitely a lot of things. There's a lot in the drama, or the documentary, I mean, that's really just not even touched on. I think that is to do with his background and upbringing, really, which clearly led to everything, as well as the fact that he became really well known and going on chat shows, etc. I think it was Jimmy Kimmel, or I can't remember which. Anyway, the one of those chat shows, and not Fallon, and it's just a ridiculous story, really. The guy was clearly not quite someone who would be able to cope with all this kind of attention, and yet he was still given it just relentlessly, to the point where it's definitely shows something about the media in the US for sure, and never mind anywhere else. I think it could have happened anywhere pretty much these days, especially in the UK. But on the other hand, such a character as him, a hitchhiking sort of almost Bill and Ted character going around surfing or whatever the heck he was doing, it's just very unique in itself. Yeah, I mean, I find it a very interesting story, and also the main character, Kai. He's sort of quite grabs you as just as a character, but the more it goes on, the more you're aware that this guy is just not making any sense in terms of his interactions with anyone, and his mental health obviously figures in the whole thing, but none of that's really discussed throughout the documentary, to be honest, because they don't have the full insight into that yet. But I mean, I think I commend them for making the documentary only like an hour and 20 minutes. But there are things that are definitely missing. But I don't think necessarily it would prove kind of anything particularly illuminating, or sort of help the documentary be much better if it did go into just sort of spans of sort of, or whole passages of looking at his mental health, and sort of the kind of analysis of that. It could end up in a way almost making things seem less clear to some degree, perhaps. But I think it's a documentary of its own, so it's interesting to watch. But on the other hand, I think at 1 hour 20 something minutes, it like felt a little bit like there's a lot more to say about this, and I couldn't help feel at the end like that he's been imprisoned for way too long, considering his circumstances and his mental health. But on the other hand, he definitely did something which has to be punished. But the circumstances of it and everything are definitely very questionable. I mean, I do think that this guy had a real some kind of violent impulses and reactions to things, but on the other hand, I don't think that he necessarily was in control of them properly. So we don't have to keep up. I think the thing I view it as is there's no point trying to keep up with anyone else's viewings or lists. Like even the idea of having a list in itself to me seems, um, you may as well just watch what you want to watch when you want to watch it. Don't why it would anybody have a list to implore themselves to watch certain things, unless of course they were absolutely convinced that those things are going to be good. And good evening to Gary there. Hope you're doing okay. The hatchet wielding hitchhiker. I apologize. You'll just have to put up with me just finishing this food here. Basically, this guy was very much 20 years ago, he wouldn't have got to that level of fame online. And then, that in turn becoming a part of the news cycle in America and media. So they were literally going to offer him, a reality TV show at one point. It seems before they even really knew who he was. One woman who was basically a producer or something on, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, immediately was put in contact with him, or was trying to get in contact with him whilst he was living, essentially rough. They didn't know where he lived, so they didn't actually know how to how to get in contact with him. So the whole thing is just crazy. I mean, why on earth anybody would want to get in touch with him on the basis of this news story that he would partly concocted? It is revealed in some senses, where he hit this guy over the head 3 times with a hatchet, twice with a blunt part of it. The third time he did hit with the sharp part of it. And this guy who he hit, yes, was doing things which were violent and out of control and everything. So maybe he was helping in some sense, but the whole story is revealed in the actual thing itself, and it's pretty ridiculous. So considering, the nature of all of that, the fact that they were trying to launch him into some kind of media star, pretty unbelievable, really. But I mean, it's obvious this guy is someone who's actually more than anything needs, from the outset, it's very obvious this is a guy who needs help in, different senses. And I don't mean needs help as in being given some part in some kind of reality TV show. Where, of course, they would want to turn it into some kind of, look at the good made from this life of somebody living kind of out there on the road and on the street. They're not going to make a reality TV show from the makers of Keeping Up with the Kardashians or some team behind it, where it's covering the real life of people living happily out there, homeless people, etc. Like, oh, look at them getting up in the morning and not brushing their teeth and this kind of thing. I can't even imagine how such a thing could be made anyway. So, but in terms of, obviously, with this Kai, it was supposed to be something different, but Yeah, it was definitely unwise to start giving him access to different things that were there when he was on a chat show and things, you know. So this guy would do things like they would have a mini bar in the hotel room where he was, but it was actually like full of whole bottles, and he would grab the bottle of whiskey and then just start downing it, like, you know, totally about with abandon, you know. And then he started bringing his skateboard through the lobby of this rather well-to-do hotel in LA, and they would immediately start saying, you know, right, you've got to leave, you can't stay here, and all this. And one of the first things he did when he got into near the hotel, he was urinating on one of the stars of the Walk of Fame, or whatever you call it, in on the Hollywood uh, Boulevard. Or I can't remember which one it was. It was just he did this more than once. Then when he got to Jimmy Fallon or whoever, I think it was Jimmy Fallon, he urinated on the Jimmy Fallon sort of banner thing that was tied up on some near the parking area. And as soon as the you know, the security there saw him doing that, they immediately obviously were not happy. And apparently when he got into the chat show and everything, he was paid sort of just given $500 or something, or maybe it was more than that. I'm not sure what it was for, whether it was just for appearing or what, but and he just handed it straight to the security guy. So to say sorry for urinating on the thing. His behavior was completely just it had no sort of, some people would almost call it that kind of thing masochistic in some kind of way, in that he's just making more problems for himself in the end, in a way. It's and so it exhibits that he's got a lot of, he doesn't really see anything of this going on around him as being helping him in the end, really, because of his, you know, the mental situation he's coming from and whatever is going on in his mind, really. So he's just essentially discarding everything as it goes along, because this is not the real solution to anything with him. I mean, maybe he in some way hopes that it is, but clearly it wouldn't indicate that he had much hope in trying to get his groove on in Hollywood if he starts urinating immediately on the I mean, that's almost like something from Inland Empire. It's a Lynchian element of just, obviously it's kind of anarchic, but I don't really know what he was going for in doing what he was doing. So I'll stop talking for a second and just get on this. Just get finished on this, I mean. Dan Peake says he's on a Schrader marathon. Affliction, he turns into his father. And well, I mean, you know, they are you know, they are father and son, so there's bound to be similarities, perhaps. Not always the case, I suppose, in terms of people, but it's definitely there's a real exchange of anger and everything between them, which they just escalate each other's anger in a way, don't they? As far as I remember the film, I think it's pretty well done and convincing as well. Okay, I'm just going to get you a link, Mandela Man. I can see you in there in the chat. Just give me 1 second, because anyway, I'm glad that you've turned up now, because I just wanted to go into the kitchen for a minute, and then you can just carry on for me. I haven't seen The Comfort of Strangers. That's probably a film, recommendation that I should actually put on a list for myself, because there are a lot of films, for instance, that I could watch. Like, just in passing, Gary mentioned Bad Influence, which is a early 90s, thriller. James Spader, I think. I can't remember who else is in it, but it's not Rob Lowe, is it? I'm not sure. But yeah, Rob Lowe maybe. And it's got some music by Skinny Puppy in it, who he sent me the album of. And so I'm interested to see the film, but I think, I'm bound to enjoy it just because of who's in it and the time it was made. But The Comfort of Strangers is another good recommendation, so thank you.
Hello.
Oh yeah, I just laughed because you came in the chat as Lorraine, so I just, there was someone who kept mentioning where's Lorraine and all that.
Well, yeah, that's because I don't have a computer. That's the only way I can put something in the chat right now.
Yeah, but you've got like a picture of her on there as well now.
Well, that's her, because that's her YouTube.
Well, some people find that funny. I mean, it is a little bit. I don't find it that funny, but some people in the chat were going on about it. So, yeah. From tomorrow though, I'm going to let Voltaire control the chat, because I think it's better if maybe someone else does it. I might even say he can be the host of the show, actually. So.
Oh.
Voltaire is the host.
That'd be interesting, I guess.
Well, he's almost like that anyway, at times.
I'd love to get him on here today to talk about this Wendig Refn thing. Like he said.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Have you seen the other show?
Not Widrig. That's Jamie's name. No. Yes.
Winding Refn, whatever his.
Yes. Yeah. You're right. You're saying it right. But
you watched.
Yeah, we watched the Too Old to Die Young I think that came out about 2-3 years ago, and
yeah, I wasn't aware of it till this week when I saw the other one.
Yeah, that one is more probably. I mean, I would say it's slightly more accessible, perhaps, to some people than this one, but
it. Boy, nobody talks like that. Have you noticed this?
Oh, you mean the style of in?
Yeah, like
Too Old to Die Young.
Like a pregnant pause in between, like every single line of dialogue, almost.
Well, no one hardly talks in the first 2 episodes of Copenhagen Cowboy, but I have enjoyed it so far. But I perhaps the moodiness of it is just a little bit too. I was expecting something to break it up a bit. It kind of almost came into being a bit monotonous for me, the first 2 episodes of that. But
when you go to watch it and it says Stranger Things meets the OA or something like that before you, as like the tagline before you press on play. What a tragedy that is! Like they really think that they
but they're promoting the OA all over Netflix now. It's like, sorry, Brit Marlin, we're not going to make any more of it because it's too expensive. Maybe we can make something with you again. Now we'll just promote it all over the platform because we realize it's one of the best things we've ever made, probably.
Yeah, I don't believe that expensive line they're giving people. That's bold.
Well, no, they didn't say that. That's me making that up. I think Sorry, Jamie.
I
Jamie,
mean,
if I mentioned your name and I shouldn't have done that. Sorry.
way to cancel something that was kind of pretty much inspirational and deeply spiritual, and replace it with something that is like pro pedophile almost, and say that they're comparable to each other is just ridiculous. In my opinion,
What's pro pedophile?
both of these series,
Which series are you talking about?
Me, You, the one you're watching, and the other, Too Old to Die Young. I mean, that one was blatantly pro pedophile.
But I mean, no, that was on Amazon anyway. That's not Netflix.
Okay, well, whatever. It's from the same guy, right? I'm worried about this guy.
Come on, don't start off talking about them by saying that they're pro pedophile.
I'm serious. I would love to pull up that last.
I've watched the first 2 episodes, and they seem pretty obviously not too keen on like prostitution, but at the same time, you could say they're not too keen on pigs. So I don't really know what's going on. But the thing is, you could put these on for some people, and they would watch it, and they'd be like, "What the hell is this shit? Turn it off now." You know, honestly. But I'm not like that. Obviously, I'm just saying.
You know, I can't quote it verbatim, but on the Amazon show, Too Old to Die Young, in the last episode's like 30 minutes long. What's her name in that? What's the white girl's name in that? She was in Batman vs Superman. She played the cult kind of leader that was.
You mean like? Do you mean Jenna Malone? Yeah, she's in it, isn't she?
Yeah. Jenna Malone gives this speech in the last episode that is blatantly pro pedophile. Like, in the future, pedophilia, incest, all this will be like accepted and normal. I mean, it goes on and on, but I mean, I don't see how you can't see that is blatantly like pro I don't know, pro perversion or like something like that. I mean, God Almighty, it was brutal.
Well, I don't.
Brutal.
I mean, these things can be a character can be saying these things within the actual show, but
yeah, but
film, that doesn't mean that it's pro it, does it? I mean,
okay, but like Twin Peaks, it has always been on that borderline of like, are you exposing something or promoting something like that? That I could buy.
All right, but obviously Twin Peaks is not promoting paedophilia, is it? I mean, come on.
About incest.
Well, I don't think it promotes it. I don't think it's exposing it either. It's just a part of the story. I mean,
you have to get in touch. You have to. It promotes an idea that you have to get in touch with your shadow self to make it to heaven. Basically, you have to confront your shadow.
Well, it doesn't say you've got to confront your shadow self by indulging.
Doesn't Hawk basically say that? Doesn't Hawk basically say that at some point?
Well, he says you meet your shadow self. Yeah.
What? What's that?
Yeah, it says you meet your shadow self. Or
you meet your okay. Well, yeah, that's another way of saying that. Like, you have to meet
the dweller on the threshold or something like this.
I don't know. Dweller on the threshold, absolutely.
But the thing with Twin Peaks is you've got to give credit to the fact that not everything is, one narrator or one person in charge of it, one creator. It's not like Lynch and Frost were in control of every episode of season 1 and 2. So all these different things. Like, it's questionable, really. I don't really think personally that Lynch had in mind, especially that the father was going to be the killer from the start, even if he said he did. I'm not sure about Frost. I think Frost may have had that in mind more, possibly, because he talked about that story, to do with a small town that he grew up in, and that's something happened there where it was.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar.
There's a book about it.
A true story from his
I think they've made a documentary about that as well.
Oh, is there really? Because I'd love to see that. I've only seen like a YouTube short thing about it, basically. I'd love to know what that documentary is called if you have that.
Well, the thing is, I think it's about the effect of what you're watching. Like, for instance, there's a lot of things now. For instance, you just go to any mainstream TV channel in this country, or
when you
no doubt, and there's millions of different shows now where there's sort of someone's a paedophile. There's the dad is the killer or something like this. I mean,
When
I'm
you
not
watch,
saying like,
okay, when you watch Too Old to Die Young, you didn't get this feeling of like oppression and depression while you were watching it. Like, I found it like super fucking. I mean, I like dark stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I think this pushes it like a little bit over the borderline of like what should be acceptable. I mean, basically, without some kind of. I mean, here's the warning: nudity, violence, alcohol use, foul language, and sexual content. Bro, it's way beyond that. 16 plus. I mean, come on. I don't know. Just seems like I love it. I loved it. Like Voltaire said, he loved it. He loved it. But I mean, he's like one of these people that's. I would love to, you know.
he is an actual 100% verified psychopath. So
No, I wouldn't say that. Just saying, he's very much like anti-porn and anti-perversion type of person. Way more than even I would be, you know. Like I take Lynch and Frost at their word. I try to get in touch with my shadow self, and a lot of times I'd be doing research on stuff like that psychologically. My girlfriend, you know, she's gone now, and that's part of the reason why, because she couldn't stand like confronting her shadow self. She should do anything to run from that. You know what I mean? And most people would, I think, you know. Most people do.
But sometimes I do. I mean, I'm not just, like in the 80s in this country, we had the Video Recordings Act, and they were
the video
withdrawing.
thing.
Like,
Right?
I mean, obviously, the strange thing about that, or the hilarious thing about it in a way, is that by having police go in and actually raid some video shops and trying to making a big fuss about the whole thing, and it being a crazy thing in the tabloid media, for instance, this actually attracts attention, especially among younger people, to these kind of videos where, like, if a 40-year-old man really wants to watch zombie flesh eaters, like, at the end of the day, who really cares? Like, but when there's youngsters being, it makes it all like some kind of big attraction, in fact.
But correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't live over there, but a lot of that was blowing stuff out of proportion as far as those movies. I mean,
yeah, definitely. I don't think someone's going to watch. Like, if somebody gets hold of Cannibal Holocaust, I don't think they're going to go out afterwards and they're 12 and they watch it and start doing the same stuff they see in the film. Or
no. But how about this new film? How about this new one, Bones and All? You don't think that?
Well, I don't know anything about that. But
you don't think that might have a little bit of an influence on people?
No, I think the thing that I was getting to is that I do question sometimes. Like, for instance, I think sometimes if somebody's vulnerable in some sense, or perhaps, sort of open too much, maybe a bit wounded in some way. Like, I remember seeing Blue Velvet, and I was probably about 17 or something. And that really, like, shook me up in a way, like the sexual violence size of it. It really disturbed me, and I didn't really know what to make of it. And I do think that a lot of this is down to, if I'd actually been in some kind of media class or whatever, and we were discussing the film, it probably would have really helped. So a lot of it is down to that side of things. Like, I'm not saying,
even in that one,
yeah, it's just the environment that you're in, because I think I had nobody to talk to about the film. You see,
even in, I mean, that was, I think, the first. I'm pretty sure that was my first Lynch film. Recommended to me by another girlfriend, and even in that film, Jeffrey is like such a boy next door type of person, innocent in a way, and it's all about how fascinated he is by the dark side of life that he suddenly uncovers.
Yeah, his violent impulses, or even
his perversion,
his sexual side and all that.
I mean, she wants him to smack her and choke her and all this. I mean,
well, it's just hit me, but that's the part that I actually had a problem with. Like, I just think it was bad timing for me on that part. Like, I could have been watching anything, but I do think, for instance, the only better thing nowadays is there's a lot more access to online. Like as soon as somebody watches Blue Velvet, they can go off and go Blue Velvet analysis and stuff like this. That is a good thing. I mean, never mind people who are maybe at school and they go to like film groups or whatever to discuss these things. But really, I would say, yeah, if you're not 18, don't watch Blue Velvet, probably. But also, it's better if you've got some outlet. Like you should, even if it's just online. Like if you watch videos about Blue Velvet, that's a good thing. And so I think just watching these things in a vacuum in itself can be a bit not always the best thing, really. That's
I give me a sec. I gotta run to the bathroom real quick.
all right.
Sorry.
It's okay. Well, I don't know, Jamie. Why did you put all caps James there? I'm still waiting on Lorraine coming in anyway, but as you can see, Lorraine put Link, me brother, there. So, yeah, I think like a lot of people nowadays, for instance, say so-called youngsters, like say you're 18 and there must be 18-year-olds now in this country who go out and buy some of these Blu-ray releases on Arrow or all these other different labels. You're more of an expert on it, Gary, but and they watch sort of films, particularly from the 70s or 80s, and they must sort of just enjoy them in different ways, and probably the age of them as well adds to the enjoyment, possibly, but also gives it a certain, distancing. But in terms of like what, Mandela Man's mentioning in terms of like potential effects of these films and things, I do think the main thing is this the situation you watch them in. And I don't know, maybe if I just sat down and watched Blue Velvet with my dad, for instance, that could have been a better thing. I'm not saying that I was particularly, it's not like I was kind of sitting down thinking about Blue Velvet much, or and that's probably part of the problem, you see, because it just goes into the back of your mind or whatever, and it's almost like you're repressing it. I think the function of Blue Velvet is, I really think, that Lynch, just thinking of the score by Badalamenti and the other tracks on it and everything, that's made to be heard, and the film is made to be seen in the cinema. And yeah, I remember when I was at Kent University and they played Blue Velvet during a course on, I think it was, no, not the Fantastic, either the Fantastic Four film or post-war American cinema. And I mean, the Blue Velvet is a fantastic film in some senses, perhaps. I'm not sure if it was in that course, but just to see something like that in the cinema is much better. But visually, and I was quite taken aback by it on the big screen, and obviously the soundtrack is much better, coming through some really good speakers and everything, rather than just sitting at home on a not very good TV. Most TVs don't really have very good sound even now, really, unless people start adding all the extras and stuff. And that's why I listen to films on headphones. But that's not the same as being in a really good cinema with really good sound. So not quite. I actually saw this advert for headphones that are like this big on your head, and they kind of, it's like being like actually having hi-fi sound on you, but through headphones. And I was sort of always thinking, yeah, but I thought that's the point of headphones anyway, to get hi-fi sound through them. Like, but this is getting, this is obviously getting epic hi-fi sound. So it's also all a bit of a good sales technique, no doubt, but I'm sure they're impressive to an extent. But just having the sheer weight of that level of stuff on your head would be a bit much for me, I think. Sorry, I was just checking the chat on Facebook about. It's good to see Kevin in there anyway. UMG have claimed your video because it may contain music they own. UMG? Is that Universal Music Group? Maybe that's the W.G. Snuffy Walden song I played at the start, which was Winnie's theme from the Wonder Years. I was looking back through music from then and from that show, and also just from that composer, Snuffy Walden, because I actually mentioned that composer to Scott Ryan, and I was actually asking him about sending the books that he's releasing this year, the Lost Highway one and this Black Coffee Lightning. But I am a little bit actually now at this point, especially because I wanted 2 books. The $30 seems. $30 postage for a book. That's just. He needs to come again to when the Twin Peaks UK Festival starts again, if it does, that is. Bring some books then, and then people can buy them there. In terms of travel costs, I'd be spending more than $30, but it would be worth it more than to actually just go and buy the book from the festival rather than just getting it delivered at home, which is fairly mundane, of course. And nonetheless, anyway, I will just mention the Blue Rose magazine, Lost Highway 25, which I do have already anyway. So there we go, as you can see. Probably one of my favourite things of the magazine here is Scott Ryan's appearing there on Twin Peaks Day, which is obviously the weekend and everything of the leading up to the 24th. So you can go and get, presumably you'll have some of the Lost Highway book there. This is really an advert for Tweeds, masquerading as an old-fashioned advert for the Double R. No, the UK Twin Peaks Festival, Jamie, is not actually running at the moment, to my knowledge anyway. All I've seen is that on a Facebook post, somebody asked Lindsay Bowden, who runs it or ran it, if it was likely to be running again. And she said, just watch the Instagram account. So it could merely be just, possibly, I suppose, from that answer, that it may start again. I mean, it seems a positive thing to mention, really. But she could just be being optimistic. So I suppose. Carl McLaughlin has done a few Carl's done a few posts all about David Lynch, obviously being 77 now. Since yesterday, anyway. So there is this post here from Facebook to show it on the screen. Happy birthday to the extraordinary artist, visionary film director, and dear friend David Lynch. We've celebrated many milestones, my friend. Here's to many more. And there's a picture of Kyle with David Lynch. Not sure when that was exactly. Picture of Lynch on set there for, looks like from June, when they were making June. So obviously that was with Kyle. And then, of course, there is the Showtime Twin Peaks: The Return carpet appearance, red carpet appearance and everything. So yeah, I thought that's a good post. And the fact that he says many more milestones, here's to many more milestones. I mean, you can interpret that, or you can read that as just being, more birthdays. But the fact that he said, in terms of them together celebrating milestones, and here's to many more. And the pictures, obviously, two of the pictures are him and Lynch. This does indicate that Kyle is thinking of more milestones in terms of working with Lynch. So what is my interpretation of that? I think for me, I think it's fairly unlikely that he would have written that in the first case if he wasn't already eyeing up some other milestone that he's working on with Lynch. In terms of maybe there's something else that he and Lynch have not yet started on. My view is, I think it's more likely that they already have something happening, really. That's just that's just my own interpretation of things and everything. So, um, there could be a lot of people who are saying that everything's cancelled because of the pandemic and all of this kind of thing. But my view is that I think that they've, at this point, gone in the direction of working around that. Particularly bearing in mind Lynch's age, precautions, and everything due to the pandemic. The fact that he's always worked with quite a um, a small amount of people that he's often very faithful to, not including the fact that he had a massive cast for the return, but that's that's one project that was like that. But of course there were a lot of people in that who are his sort of regulars and people he's always very true to having on board. Well, I'm not saying it's a confirmation of the return season 2. I'm not going that far. But I think that it certainly is indicative of the fact that they're still doing things. So for me, that's good enough. I don't really. If I had to actually choose at this point between what is described as the return season 2 by Voltaire, or just them carrying on with what they want to do rather than just follow some sort of idea that has to be linked to Twin Peaks, I would say just do what they want to do. And if Twin Peaks comes back into that in some way, then fine. But I can't really see any easy way back for them to just sort of recreate or remold everything that we saw in the return into sort of something else, which would be really, imperative to see at this point. For me personally, at this point, I've said this kind of thing before, but I don't need to see Kyle MacLachlan or Cheryl Lee in the Red Room anymore, or I don't need to see more antics going on around the Palmer house of Sarah Palmer smashing things, or suddenly Ray Wise appearing at a window and her screaming or something. I don't know. It's just, there's a point where you've got to kind of just throw everything into a sort of cement mixer and then just stir it all up and then see what comes out the other end, maybe. It's definitely a good, I think that's a good description of how to do things creatively on my part. So I hope you appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. This is a very long visit to the bathroom from Mandela Man. So I think I will just go to the kitchen myself and we'll carry on waiting for him. Clearly there's probably something else happening other than just that. Just change this screen behind. Let's put this picture up for you. This is a nice picture. Yeah, I don't know if you could see that on the screen there properly. The real Twin Peaks days in the real Twin Peaks. That's occurring. In very private talks I had with Cameron about this, I actually said to him, this has to be officially approved in some way, just by the presentation of it and everything and the wording. But he said, no, I don't know, because, at the bottom it says it's not official, or, it's not supported by this, that, and the other, CBS and all these people. So I have no idea. And I think what I was really getting at more is, I think it's not officially approved, but they're saying, yes, you can kind of go ahead with all of this, as long as you put a disclaimer at the bottom and say, this has got nothing to do with Lynch and Frost and, Michael J. Anderson specifically. Thank you. And Amy Shields says she's not involved as well, although she will appear just randomly at some point and declare that she's working on The Happy Worker Part 2. So then Sabrina will have to tell her, no, can you please not make, just these big announcements that you're doing something that's really exciting, because people think you're announcing new Twin Peaks. So everybody starts running around going, ah! Exactly like that kind of thing. And then, Amy, please, it's just making a mockery of everything. Because the day after, Lynch was actually supposed to be making an official announcement, and you've ruined that. So he's not going to do it now. He actually says to hell with it. That Amy's ruined everything. And he's gone into seclusion for 3 years as a result. Thank you, Amy. So yeah, basically Amy Shields did that. Cameron's just telling some really interesting information here. They had 21 VIP tickets made available. After a week, 15 have been sold. Okay. Well, I don't really know what to say, but I'm sure the whole event will be good in some senses. But on the other hand, a lot of it sounds quite comical, really. So, but that's probably a good thing. So. The US would sell 300 tickets in 5 minutes. I don't know what Cameron's talking about now. Sorry. I mean, just the US Twin Peaks Festival.
Yeah, is that happening again? I thought I heard something the other day. You said something, or just
well. If I'll just take us off the screen briefly, just. All right. Forget about. Anyway, I'm not in the chat. I'm not interested.
No calling me.
I'm not interested in people just bashing this. I mean, I think the whole thing will be great because it's cheap as well, and the real US Fest anyway. Who wants to go to that? Come on.
What?
I went to the real US Fest. I've been to the UK one. It's much better.
Is that going to be in Snoqualmie, the US one?
This is just, it's not official. It's called something like the Real Twin Peaks Days in the Real Twin Peaks.
So in the town.
Yeah. But I mean, at this point,
it's ridiculous that what do we need fucking Showtime's permission to have a get together?
Well, they have to put a disclaimer at the bottom saying that it's nothing to do with them. So
to be official. Doesn't that contract with Showtime, isn't that up at a certain point? Or do they own it now forever? Like,
I mean, Showtime and CBS are obviously linked, but I don't know about that kind of thing. So that's all legal, isn't it? I mean,
well, didn't you cover a thing a while back, and I think Cameron covered it too, where it talked about Lynch going to like court to acquire the rights. So doesn't that mean that Showtime doesn't really have the rights anymore?
I don't. I mean, I think a lot of it is a legal situation where that is not, like, to me, exactly fascinating. But I think that apparently Lynch and Frost own the rights to the Twin Peaks name, but that doesn't mean that they own the content. Obviously these things are different, aren't they? So, like CBS owns Twin Peaks, it owns Twin Peaks: The Return, so forth. So, which is all
Not ABC, CBS.
Well, I don't know about the difference between ABC and CBS. You see, so
Why can't we nail this down?
I mean, it was on ABC originally.
It was.
But I thought ABC and CBS are basically the same thing anyway. So,
but how did CBS come to acquire it? I don't understand. Was that when they was put on, like, when they made the Log Lady intros? What station? What was it on then?
That was
TNT or something. Or?
Lynch did those for Bravo as a way of just basically
Bravo
giving something extra in 1993. So that's 30 years ago. Like,
they're really an awesome addition to the whole. I mean, to me,
well, yeah, they are.
They really, like, for noobs and people who
they're a small extra thing, but they definitely add something to. I think they certainly add something, especially when the show is, wavering all over the place a little bit. It's like as if Lynch is sort of giving it a bit more of a,
he's cluing you into where to
something.
For clues, yeah.
Well, he's just opening it up to more things. I mean, some of the stuff in it where he talks about, where she's talking about a dog eating lots of earth and things like this. It's like, but I think that's linked in with when it's the Dead Dog Farm episodes and things. But so it's good.
Black Dog, Dead Dog, Black Dog.
Well, yeah, Lynch has always had dogs featured in his films quite a lot, and not that much in Twin Peaks, but like I did see a woman cradling like a Chihuahua type dog today, and I laughed at it, and my mum was just going past with, I was with my mum today, and the woman said, yeah, she's had enough walking now. And then, like, the dog, and I just said, shut up, you bitch. I said, sorry, I thought I was in a Nicholas Winding Refn film there for a moment. And she says, that's a horrible thing to say. Why do you say that? My mum says, you've got to go and apologize to that woman. I said, I'm not apologizing to that woman. Fuck that.
It is.
I thought I'd actually turned into Voltaire for a moment.
Is he in the chat right now?
Yes, he is.
Can we get him? Can we send him a link? Get him on? I want to ask him something.
Fine. Yeah, if he wants to appear, he can do.
Come on, Voltaire. Come on down.
I don't know if he's too busy. Obviously, he's massively busy with. Yeah. I'll just put the link in the chat and send.
Unlike us, he's a working man. We live.
Well, yeah. We live. If you call sitting in an office watching TV whilst browsing randomly browsing documents.
Yeah, he makes court appearances, or maybe they do that all.
Yeah, one court appearance a month.
Yeah, maybe they do that all on Skype now. I mean, it's unbelievable how they can prosecute people while not even being in the same room.
No, they do VR appearances now.
Yeah, I don't even think
that's reality court appearances.
Yeah, I wonder how they get away with that. You're supposed to, one of the things in the Constitution is you're supposed to be able to, address your accusers and whatnot. So it's just really weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I think about a lot more.
Voltaire.
You should. Attacking my professional credibility when you're telling old ladies with their dogs to go fuck themselves. I mean, come on.
Oh, it's just got. I've obviously got a few issues, but
Your poor mother. She must have been mortified.
She said, "Oh, she said, I
Look
was,
at that, James. What the?
So Voltaire,
There's the whole family.
can we not go on about that, please?"
Voltaire, are most of your court appearances virtual now?
No. Well, not the trials, but like all the pre-trial stuff. A lot of it is still virtual, but actual trials are in person.
It's crazy to me.
It shouldn't be. We should have more virtual, but I feel like the state stuff, the courts, they're worried about losing their budget and people, so they just are forcing. People don't want to go back. People like the virtual for a lot of stuff.
I mean,
very inefficient in person. It was actually became more efficient. Whatever. That was one of the good things about the pandemic, but the actual courts and the judicial system, because they're so scared of their fucking budget, are forcing people back, and nobody wants to. Commuting out here is a fucking nightmare, man.
but
Like,
you got to admit that
I want to go to a court 21 miles away. At best case scenario, in the mornings, it's going to take me close to an hour. Oh, sorry, no, what am I talking? An hour and a half. I apologize. You know what I mean? That's my best case scenario for 21 miles away.
Yeah, but for people getting prosecuted, there's something to be said. I think you would agree that
No, they have to be in person with the
they're
jury.
more likely to
Yeah,
convict.
criminal is a different story, Mandela. I don't do criminal. Criminal, you're right. They have a right to face their accusers, and they have a right to a trial in person. That's completely different.
I think they're more apt to prosecute somebody that's on a screen, too. Than in person. There's something more. Just if you're sentencing somebody to jail time.
No. Criminal is complete. You're right.
Looking them in the eye has more of a personal effect on the judges and juries, I would think, than like
Oh, all right.
the screen thing.
And Gary, you're right. I only go to the big trials. You're absolutely correct. But I'm very interested in the fact that two things. First of all, Twin Peaks was on ABC in one timeline, CBS in a different timeline.
This is what my
okay. Number two, I can't believe Scott Ryan blocked Cameron on Twitter. That is shocking news.
No, I just asked you, can we not please just? He said, just saw today.
Bloody hell!
This is the same time when I've reached out to Scott Ryan for an interview, and I wrote to him a message in my inbox on email, and he just sent me an invoice with no response about
an invoice. He's charging you?
Not for the interview. I wanted to order 2 books.
Oh,
but he told me the postage is $30 for both books,
that's ridiculous.
For each, which I think is ridiculous. So I'm only going to order one now. And if he's not even written back about the interview, obviously he doesn't want to do it. I think he's reached out to people and he realizes this is, James is insane, because when I wrote back to him in the in the Yahoo Mail, I just started mentioning WDG Snuffy Walden. It's like I want to trip myself up, and because he's done it. He's about 30 something, and he did the music for that. He's a good composer. He did music for the Wonder Years. But when he saw me writing about that, he probably thought he could probably also sense that I'm not that into Lost Highway. And
what's not to be into? It's a great film,
bro. It's one of the best.
I don't know. I'll see what happens. If he doesn't write to me back about it, I'm not going to go on about it.
Well,
how many sales am I going to give you? I will promote his book willingly, but no, I've never been a massive fan of Lost Highway. I find it an interesting film, but I'm not a massive fan. That's all.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, that's weird and creepy.
Did you say someone blocked Cameron?
Yeah, it's Scott Ryan, the guy who wrote the Lost Highway book. Cameron's reporting in the chat that he was blocked by him today.
What is that?
No, you said only saw it today. Maybe it could have happened weeks ago.
Boy, our community is determined to destroy itself, it seems like to me.
Yeah, to really fuck itself in the ass, as they say.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would do that, because he always told me that he was not bothered about all these stupid disputes that people have. So
why is there two?
I don't think he did it today. It's just, but
why is there suddenly 2 chats now?
Well, that's because you're splitting timelines.
Oh,
Bella.
Do you mean on the other channel, the other YouTube channel?
Yeah, well, I mean, when I go to my Facebook Messenger, we usually have a Twin Peaks chat.
Oh, that thing.
Now there's
I just,
Well, I
just
pointed out to James last week that I created that chat originally, so he went out and destroyed it and started a new one. As a
I didn't destroy it. I just left.
really give me a shit burger.
What?
Well, you should shut that chat down and put everybody into my chat. Not everybody, but
Man,
let ones I want in there. I don't. It's just like, for instance, Kevin is starting to talk in this new one. For instance, like Carl's off his fucking nut. Honestly.
Oh, he's Swedish. They don't have much daylight.
No, but he's never been on any shows. It's like I only had him in there because of his attachment to Queen of Hearts, and like he just drives me nuts.
Yeah, I mean, but again, he's in Sweden. I think they get like 45 minutes of daylight this time of year. So it's a rough time for him.
Yeah, but if he's never going to be on the shows and stuff, there's no point in being in our chat. If
He's
you
really
reach
good
out,
at tunes.
I don't want to just be.
not everybody wants to appear on camera.
But if he's never even been on the show, what's the point in him being in there? I only had him in there.
Well,
Because
he has a thing. He sounds like that Swedish chef on the Muppets. Gorgy borgy door, like that. And he's a little bit shy about it. So that's what that is,
Yeah.
Who's the one the Swedish meatballs? Let's go to IKEA. I like blonde women.
If you're such great fans of Carl's, then you write to him. Like, I only had him in there because of Queen of Hearts, because he was promoting that. So,
I don't even know who Carl is, but my point is
precisely. You're never even in there.
Why are we blocking people that could be fans? I just don't know.
I'm not blocking anybody. I've started up my own chat.
Well, why'd you tell? Look, you're alienating Twin Peaks fans, but like that woman you told to go fuck herself with the dog. She could have been a fan. She could have been a follower of the show, and look what you did.
I think my chat is the one that people want to go in, and that's
boy.
a known fact. So
that's a personal.
Why you're still running your own chat, Voltaire?
James,
is unacceptable.
So which one is that, James? I don't even know. Now when I'm posting things, I'm posting it on 2 different chats, and I want to know which one. Is it the real one or the original one?
No, the one I called the real one is the real one. That I set it up, so therefore I am the creator of it.
That's exactly what somebody who has a fake chat would name their chat, the real one.
No, it is the real one
So the real one is the fake one, then.
What more proof do you need that Kevin is speaking up in it, who's been quiet for nearly the best part of a year after he got pissed off at me, and he's now back in it? Well, he actually said he pissed himself off. But probably I wasn't helping, I imagine, because I
talks too loud.
I generally create that vibe of making people pissed off with themselves,
angry,
and angry towards themselves. But it's mainly
it's
just
so
me
angry
doing it.
They turn it inward.
So it's just a psychic effect that I have on people generally. As soon as they even see my face, like that dog was.
It immediately started growling and stuff.
That dog was looked really lethargic and depressed. The woman says he's walked too far already today, and I was like looking at the dog, and then I just went, "Go fuck yourself."
Good,
but the dog made me do it.
That's Son of Sam stuff. Don't start telling people that a dog is giving you instructions.
Right, Cameron. I don't know why the hell Scott Ryan would block you, but the fact that he gave a soundtrack coverage of 2 pages to Brad Dukes in the latest magazine is just like.
What's that reference to the Mad Hatter that Cameron is making?
That's a reference to Mary Hutter, who.
Mary Hunter?
Mary Hutter.
Oh, Hutter.
Yeah.
So can I ask you something, James?
Yes.
I still didn't get an answer. Which one is the real one?
Well, they're both real. It's just that I'm only in one of them now. So.
Yours.
Yeah, the other.
Which one is yours?
I didn't want to just delete everybody like I did in the past and then start a new chat. So he just left it and started a new one. That's it.
He's known for that.
Yours.
I think what I've done is fine.
Well, which
one?
Then
I've just left other people to do what they want.
Which one is yours?
The one that says the real.
Oh, the real is the real.
Yeah.
If you believe that shit.
That's the one I started up this week, basically.
I just didn't understand what.
If you want to believe that kind of crap.
All right. Since Cameron's watching, Cameron, have you seen this story that I posted about the actor from Boxing Helena has disappeared into thin air, apparently?
Who, the blonde guy?
Yeah.
Cameron wrote to me about that.
Yeah.
Sent me a link first. I didn't know anything about it. And
So Cameron,
Julian Sands. Yeah, it's terrible.
yeah, Julian Sands. I brought this up before, Cameron. Maybe you weren't watching, but I was wondering if we could set up like some kind of watch along where me and like Voltaire and James are able to like watch along with you your Laserdisc copy of Boxing Helena, because you have the only copy that is the director's cut,
in entire humanity.
and I'm never gonna see it unless.
What is this, like a fundraiser?
No, I just want to see the
Raise awareness, James. Don't be so glib.
What do you mean? No, you just want to see it when Julian Sands is missing.
Well, it's
Not think.
point. It's super rare that he's
I
missing.
don't think you're like, lording it up, watching some extended cut on Laserdisc.
I'm never gonna find a laser. Be able
clinging to the side of a mountain.
a laser.
So I didn't know this. Cameron said he went hiking and he hasn't been heard from in a week. That's terrible. People, don't go hiking.
One situation.
There's lots of ways to get exercise. Hiking is not a good one. It's become a trendy thing. Every dating app, the women on the, I love hiking. Let's go hiking. Hiking is terrible. You're gonna twist your ankle, do something like that, or go missing, get attacked by a mountain lion. There's lots of ways to exercise. Hiking is not the way to do it, kids. Get the fuck off of that hiking. Look what's happened to this poor man.
I mean, we don't have.
He's got 3 children.
That's
Actually,
terrible.
his son went out and has gone with somebody else. It's the snow there and everything, but they went the same place where he went. The same track, and they didn't find anything. So.
I'm not making a joke. Don't go hiking. Hiking is for assholes. Don't
Cameron,
do it.
we don't have to.
I'm not sure that's really a very sensitive response to the situation, though, is it?
We don't have to stream the movie for everybody. I'm just talking about maybe like a private thing, not like
a
a fun.
Laserdisc stream.
Yeah, just
we have a Laserdisc. What's he gonna put the camera up to his CRTV screen?
I will watch it that way.
That would be a good. I think that would be a good tribute.
I want to see it, bro. I'm really curious. Like,
I love that idea. Actually, if Cameron puts a camera up to the puts it on his CRT screen, and then puts a camera up at the screen, and we watch it, I tell you, that would be a real good experience. I think
it could pan over from like.
Doesn't have to be CRT, but
it could be. We could put like pictures of Julian Sands in frames, and also a topless one of Sherilyn Fenn, and then like with candles around it, and then go. No, I mean, would that be sensitive or?
Well, it'll raise awareness if nothing else, which is important.
He went hiking before the storm, so who knows anything? He could have just fell down somewhere. Unfortunately, I mean,
it's echoing the.
Why are you sniffing your hand? Have you been fingering a lady and you're just getting her scent, her memory?
No, unfortunately, I haven't been doing that. But
okay.
No, that's one of my greatest things.
That's what Jamie was implying.
No, I mean, I apologize. That was probably just some kind of discomfort based on this topic that we're on now, which seems to be going off a bit tasteless, But.
This thing with Julian Sands mirrors the David Paulides 411 missing type of thing, right? I don't know if you guys are all aware of that, but I just watched a new movie on Amazon, Missing 411, the UFO Connection. Excellent research. Everybody should be going and checking that out. I recommend it highly. Some really, like they're saying, they're supposedly the people at Skinwalker Ranch have are finding like a correlation between his data and their data. So we might be getting to the bottom of it, like. You guys, I mean, tell me, do you guys believe when our U.S. government recently changed their policy about UFOs and now they want everybody to report them, they're not going to ridicule people? Do you guys buy the thing that they say that they just have no idea what these things are? That yes, we've collected this data over all these years, but we're clueless. It is just an unknown phenomenon. Do you guys buy that, Voltaire?
It's something. Makes me think they're worried about foreign entities bringing something. I don't think they necessarily think it's aliens, but it is an interesting stance that they're now admitting that UFOs exist. I think they're worried that foreign entities are sending in some kind of planes or spy equipment that they don't have a handle on, and they want people to report it when they do see something, so they can collect data. I don't know why else would they do it. It's weird that they all of a sudden acknowledge it. I will give you that, but I think
I've been researching this thing for a long time, and it's more likely that these things are coming out of the water than from outer space. Like, if you watch any of these programs over the years, this whole thing of like, there's that famous quote equation that there's millions of suns out there, all the stars are suns, and there's got to be life and all that. Forget all that. Why are you even bringing that into the conversation? And they always seem to do it. They're trying to convince people that we're on a spinning ball that's a speck in the universe when nothing you do in life matters because it's all meaningless. It's evolution, I just find it curious that they're just like, yeah, we collect this data.
That's obviously not true.
There's one Tic Tac video that's black and white, blurry, where you can barely see the thing. But yeah, we've been collecting this data, and we just have no idea what it is. Like,
Jennifer Lynch has actually said this is the VHS cover for Boxing Elena she was most pleased with. Manchmal ist lieber ein Gefängnis, which translate as "Man really loves woman with stubs." It's a great film by Jennifer Lynch. There
is that what it translates to?
Has Cameron in the chat responded to your request for this viewing this Laserdisc?
Oh man, that would just make me be able to see that. What
Cameron responded about that? Has he given hopefully in the affirmative that he'll do it?
No, I think he left the room and apparently closed the door in a very dramatic fashion as he left on the basis of this request.
In honor.
Very.
You'd think he'd be excited to get his Laserdisc player.
No, he's responded saying he's looking for it to stream online for free. So, as in the version you're talking about, I suppose.
Oh, really? I didn't, because the way he talked about it, that you can't watch that version anywhere unless you have that.
Well, you think that Cameron's got the only version in the entire world?
No, but
that's the only copy.
He said that the Laserdisc is the only version of the director's cut.
Yeah, but there must have been someone else who copied it off of a Laserdisc.
I don't think you can do that.
Considering so you're saying it's impossible to copy off of a Laserdisc? Unless you're like Matthew Broderick in War Games, like
you need some kind of high-tech computer like that, yeah.
With floppy disks.
Yeah, strictly.
To be honest, that's something that probably I could do.
No, you didn't know how to operate a Laserdisc player, let alone copy one.
Fantastic.
Well, yeah, to be fair, that my last Laserdisc player I actually threw it out the window. So
yeah.
It landed on that woman with the chihuahua again.
Yeah.
Phantom Cooper to little so I can respond to your text there. I don't think thousands and thousands of things in your reality changing is a minor silly conspiracy, but you're right about Iran-Contra's, that's whatever. But the JFK thing, I spent like at least 20,000 hours on that thing. I mean, like I said, go to there's a YouTube channel, America's Untold Stories, they're doing a series. Every episode is going in depth into each character of the conspiracy, like David Ferry, the leader of the Trade Mart, LBJ. I mean, they go in depth about every single one of the players from back then. Mac Wallace, General Edwin Walker. It just goes on and on. Great. I mean, I think the guy's name is Eric Gruber, or no, Mark Gruber and Eric Hunley. They are doing some killer episodes.
Hunley?
Yeah, Hunley. Yeah. America's Untold Stories.
James, did you see that tweet I mentioned you in about that video from your neighborhood?
No.
With the Paul thing or something else?
It was no, something happened in Derby. And I try to contact James on Twitter. And
you guys are about to be a 20-minute city. Lucky you.
What's that?
Where you are only 100 days out of the year will the government let you travel more than 100 miles from your house? The rest of the time, you're going to have to stay in that mile range.
I'm
Well,
looking forward
yeah.
to that.
That's your counsel putting it forward. I don't know what's going
He's
on.
talking about where I live, not
Yeah.
LA.
Yeah. We'll get it eventually, but they're first apparently over there in the UK. Voltaire. You can look it up. It's called the 20.
Okay, but
Is that what they're discussing in Davos right now?
It's part of it, yeah. But
No.
this is already passed apparently over there in the government. So
if it's passed here, how have I never even heard about it?
it just hasn't been implemented.
So basically, if I traveled more than 100 miles, I'd immediately be like arrested or something.
It will be, you have 100 days out of the year and that you can choose. And those days you can travel more than 100 miles. But the rest of the time, you're going to have to stay in your little area.
Suck it up.
Trending in United Kingdom.
Fuck you.
So,
Yeah, it's to cut down on the global emissions, of course. You know, makes no sense, but
Thanks, Greta.
she's only 18.
You know, she's very influential. Did you see that video where she was arrested by the German police?
who's that?
Yeah,
Greta?
but I've seen pictures of her also posing with them. So
I know, it's ridiculous. That's my point. She couldn't even fake it properly. Like they were all laughing and like she's trying to make it like it's something serious. I haven't seen that fake an arrest since the time that AOC got like a few months ago did that.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you write on Twitter? You mean you said the comment where you put, was it MGA?
Oh, for fuck's sake! Did you block me on Twitter?
No.
It
Sounds
sounds like
block
something
you.
you
Why would I
did.
block you?
I don't know. You just maybe you're trying to give me a shit sandwich.
No, I don't do things like that.
I could have sworn I mentioned you.
I'm very much a peace person.
Can you look at your notifications and see if? Oh, you have.
I'll just look on your. It'll be on your profile
Well, theoretically, yes, it should.
through your tweets or tweets.
I didn't
You send
retweet it.
tweets and replies.
Yeah, that's right.
I've got it now. Yeah.
Okay.
What's going over in the UK, mate?
Yeah.
That
Can
one.
you please put it up on the screen for everybody? And this is down the.
You didn't post it to me at all.
I thought I mentioned you in there.
Oh, we put where these your neighbours? Yeah, 3 hours.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, you just put. Oh yeah, it might be to me. I don't know. Let me just check.
Well, who is it then? That's not your Twitter?
No, that's not. I've got two different Twitters. and that
You're
one's the
Jim.
one with less.
Right?
Yeah, let's just put it on there.
Yeah. This happened This happened up the street from James earlier today. It's the evening now. But this happened.
I hope this is suitable for.
It is. It is. It's suitable for you too.
Okay. Not got nudity in it or flange.
No flange.
Okay.
Go ahead. So this is up the street from James earlier today.
Oh yeah.
When he was walking with his mother.
Thank you very much.
That's James there.
Go on, Jelly Belly. There's Jelly Belly and Olive on the move. Go on, Jelly Belly, you're going again.
Christ on
Fucking
earth.
hell, look at that ass. Kim Kardashian. Fuck me. Look at that. She's on crack. Fucking hell.
What is wrong?
Hey, well done, officers. We appreciate it. Clap for the police.
Like,
What on earth? I mean, what is it?
a child.
Fucking, let it go to the power. He says, fucking hell, look at that ass.
It's like a kid.
Go on, Jelly Belly. There's Jelly Belly and Olive on the move. Go on, Jelly Belly, you're going again. Fucking hell, look at that ass. Kim Kardashian, look at that ass. Fucking hell, look at that ass. Kim Kardashian, fucking hell, look at that ass.
Why is she?
Kim
Why is she taking the dog with her as well? What's happening? you even know what was happening? I mean, why are they being taken by the police?
Oh my gosh! Now, what's that dialogue?
What is going on over in the UK, mate? I mean, that's not Derby. That's more like.
Is that like
Yorkshire.
typical behavior over there, James?
It is. It
They
is.
act like you're in grade school and like, oh, a fat person.
Yeah, they are, and then they like to say, "Oh, Americans all fat," not like yeah.
No, that guy was being. That's harassment, really. I mean, but they couldn't hear you, really, could they?
Where's that dialect from? What part of the UK?
I don't know. It's a bit more Yorkshire, I think.
Fucking hell! Look at that ass.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out what
What the context is? No idea.
Someone's written. Darren Fisher says the only time you'll see working class applaud police over here is when someone has messed with kids.
Huh.
Thanks for that. Thanks for
All
that,
right.
Darren.
That's
Okay.
a perfect transition right there. So I noticed that you.
Hey, look at that comment. Go back up one, James. It said
Fucking hell.
26.
Fucking hell.
Somebody else loved it.
Fucking hell.
It captured just a bit. One of the most
I want to make
underrated
that my ringer on my cell phone.
guest phrases of all time.
Fucking hell.
You made a mistake.
Fucking hell.
Fucking hell, look at that
Just
ass.
the way he says it so long. It's like, fucking hell.
Oh, that
Yeah.
guy's good. Now scroll up. One guy goes, how could he be a pedophile? He is so big he can't catch anyone. Where is that one? Yeah, what kind of sex offender are we talking about here? Guy couldn't catch a tortoise. Was he fingering oysters? It's very insensitive. Twitter.
It's a bit Manchester, actually, yeah. So I could have seen this when I was there to see Christabel, possibly.
There's Jelly Belly and Olive on the move. What's the comment about Olive? Is he being sarcastic? Like she's thin or she's not thin like olive oil?
Popeye, slur type of thing.
Guy getting arrested was a known sex offender. Locals found out and rallied together to have him moved. As for the fat shaming, people here say way worse things to their mates, but are pretty polite generally. Yeah, okay. No,
Hey,
people in the UK are not polite at all.
Hey, speaking of olive oil, did you guys see this trailer for this film?
James disturbed me by showing posting a video of what Shelley
name of this
Duvall
one
looks
is
like
called?
now.
Shelley
It's a-
Duvall. That's what I was going to bring up. Shelley.
Jelly Belly nonce.
Did you guys see that she's going to be again?
There's Jelly Belly and Olive on the move. Go on, Jelly Belly, you're going again.
Fucking hell.
Fucking hell, look at that ass. Kim Kardashian. Fuck me. Look at that.
Wow.
She's on crack. Fucking hell. Hey, well done, officers. We appreciate it.
Fucking hell.
Fucking hell, look at that.
Oh my goodness. I'm so happy you found that on YouTube that somebody put this clip.
She's on crack.
All right, I've got on for this.
That's how you
So hey, can you look up can you show a trailer for me?
I'm sorry, what was that video called? Jelly Belly Nonce? What was it called?
Nonce again, huh?
Just Jelly Belly Olive. You'll find it. This is not even new. This is like from 2021.
Oh, it is old. You're right.
But these kind of things stick around, don't they?
Okay.
Yeah. Did you mention like a horror film earlier that you said that's
Yeah. Can you look this up? Speaking of olive oil, it's called The Forest Hills trailer. Can you show that?
Oh, I thought you mentioned another one earlier. You said
No,
something
I'd
about
like you guys' opinion on whether or not you're going to see this film or not. Or you have any interest in it? It has an actor in it that I believe it deserves a great role and just never gets it, and he hasn't worked in years. And apparently,
what's it called? Forest Hills.
the Forest Hills.
Right.
It's
Is it
got
a new film?
Yeah, it's a new film. Produced.
Eddie, you mentioned when we were talking about video nasties, you said, "What about this one? This other film?" You said,
Oh,
"What was that?"
I remember.
Oh, okay, anyway,
Yeah,
it's
no.
Edward Furlong's in it and Shelley Duvall's in it.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah,
What happened to Shelley Duvall? How come she looks like a homeless woman now?
because she got more gallons, bro. Like
What's that?
somebody in my family has it. It's where those fibers come out, and nobody can identify the fibers come out.
I've never heard of that condition.
Super painful when you try to pull the fiber out.
What do you mean fiber?
Literal like fibers come out of your skin, and then when you pull at them, you can laugh, shit is real. I mean, when you pull at them, it's like they're connected to something in there, and they don't want to come out. So the more you pull, the more aggravated the skin gets there. And for years, they've been claiming that it's your clothes, it's fibers from your clothes, it's in your mind, all this shit. They finally put it in the DSM, but they're still calling it a delusion, which is crazy. I've watched a family member pull these things out and save them in a jar. They've been taken to the lab. They can't be identified. So it's called Morgellons because in the 14th century in France, there was people were having mercury poisoning, and mercury comes out in a fibrous thing, but it's just named after that because
why is that interview? Why is she sitting in her car? I don't get it.
Well, this Morgellons, it affects your mind too.
No, she's still acting on some level.
She would have just said that I'll do the interview, but I want to be sat in the car, so that's it. It's probably as simple as that.
Pull in the car, and you'll notice there's all this stuff in the car.
Yeah.
So the people who are the Grim Life Collective who are interviewing them, apparently they are co-producing this movie.
Oh, this is the movie they're talking about.
Okay, let's just watch it now. Anyway,
Edward Furlong.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? This is Rico again. I'm up in the beautiful mountains of the Catskills in upstate New York. I'm on a 2-mile hike trying to get away from that boring Monday 9-to-5 job that we all hate.
Every fucking time you do, you make a goddamn mess. I'm done.
Well, what we can do is prescribe you another medication.
I like the
one
filter on
that
the
may make you
camera.
feel better.
I just don't like the way they made me feel. Every day, I try to do my best. I do.
Is that John Connor?
And I know that you do too.
Oh, there he is.
I'm constantly struggling. Deep down inside, I'm trying to be something that I'm not.
Fucking yeah.
Yo, Rico.
Billy, I need to see you, man. Hurry up, please.
Where are you? What's up, man?
Well, Edward Furlong don't look so good.
Rico. You're a fucking murderer, Rico.
There she is.
Taking your medication is very important.
I'm fucking saying things.
You're in deep fucking shit right now. Okay?
Your stories of hard work and courage have been so inspiring to me.
This was made with $20, I think.
I'm especially proud of my brother right here, Rico.
Focus on this, man. I'll tell you what. If that werewolf comes, BAM! Blow that motherfucker right away.
Jesus.
What on earth? This is powerful stuff.
For the one who wishes to be covered in fur. Rip.
This is like Neil Breen
Shed
stuff.
human skin. The inner wolf is ready to be released. For the one who wishes to be covered in fur. Rip flesh, shed human skin.
I will say it's very ambitious to be making a low-budget werewolf film of all types of films.
Yeah, I mean, some of the special effects were fine, but like Dee Wallace in it, who was in going back to, wasn't she in The Howling, for instance?
Who is that? I don't know who that is, to be honest with you. Dee
Well,
Wallace.
she's famous from the 80s, especially, but
Okay.
like every shot was her just going, looking at her phone or looking at it, going, "What the fuck are you thinking?" It's just like, oh my god, it's so
Well, I'm
there were a few elements in there that you could go with that you thought were interesting, where it was touching on his mental health, but then it just turns into like a typical werewolf thing. And the bits with Edward Furlong, I mean, they were literally approaching Neil Breen level of just like they were trying to go for a so bad it's good kind of thing. I mean, the filming of the actual forest and things, there were some shots in there that looked good, but
from what I understand about Furlong, he is somewhat of a functioning drug addict, and apparently probably why he hasn't had a role in years. But I think his last serious film was Pecker. By John Waters.
I mean, you're talking about like 20 years ago now.
Yeah, by John Waters. So for years, I've had it in my mind that this guy, he just needs the right script, the right movie as starring vehicle. Obviously, this is not going to be that, but I feel like the guy deserves to work, and same with Shelley. I'm glad she's got some work. And you'll notice. So you watched that interview she did, right, Voltaire? You'll notice that on her arm, she has like do-rags wrapped around her. That's why, because most likely underneath there is where she's been pulling fibers. Yeah. So, Dr. Phil really, I think he knew better, but he took advantage of her as far as that whole appearance goes, from what I could see, from what I know of. Some with this disease talks. It will affect the mind, but it doesn't make you crazy. She could still learn lines and read lines, But yeah, it's like you'll notice in that interview that she did in the car, she mentions like astronauts at some point, and it's like, what is she talking about? But nobody ever takes the time to be like, oh, well, what did you mean by that? They're just assuming that her reference is schizophrenic in some way. It's a shame.
She was probably making a reference to her experience on the set of The Shining, I imagine.
Maybe it had something to do with something, but they don't bother to ask her.
No, I think the trouble is, they don't know who, they're not experienced in that kind of area, and so
yeah, everybody look Morgellons up. I mean, it's fascinating. It's been going on for years. A while ago, I would say maybe 10, 15 years ago, on the History Channel, on one of Ancient Aliens, they even had an episode about it where they were speculating that this disease came from outer space, maybe in a rock, and got came down and hit the Earth and somehow got out from there.
Yeah, the main thing is that with the Grim Life Collective, do they mention in the video about her? It doesn't go into anything about her own mental health, does it?
No.
Because they're just being polite, like not.
Yeah. Unlike Dr. Phil, they're being professional. Right.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, it's obvious she does have some form of schizophrenia. So
no, I wouldn't call it schizophrenia. That's what I'm telling you. Like a brain type of fog, and because look, when you have these where you're pulling fibers out, doctors telling you're nuts, but then you turn to the History Channel and you see like in Ancient Aliens where they're claiming that even though this is, even though technically the doctors are telling you it doesn't exist, they're on TV speculating on whether it came from outer space or not. It like the alien thing, I always thought the disease was much more likely coming from like deep in the ocean and got disturbed and got released. It's a more plausible Occam's razor explanation for where this might have come from. And the relative who has it said, well, I did go on a cruise down to the Bahamas, yada, yada. So I always thought maybe it came, from exposure in the water, but nobody knows. And
I've heard that some people, people will mention that we all come from the ocean. In fact, really, that's where all life comes from. But I mean, that's a random thing. If
you really want to get interested, go ahead and look up on YouTube, pulling Morgellons fibers out, and take a look at what's going on. Show that to them.
No, I don't start putting that on now because it's going to make me, for instance, feel ill, but
See, that's
Yeah,
the
he's
thing.
he's trying. He's gonna eat some porridge soon.
I'm
He's gonna have
opening
his evening
the door.
porridge, and you want to upset his stomach and his digestion that way?
no, I'll put it on another time. I mean,
I'm opening the door
No.
to show the viewers something mind blowing.
what's it called? Morgellon.
Morgellon.
No. Okay, wait, I gotta go anyway. You guys would do what you want. But thank you for having me on. I just wanted to pop in for a minute
Before you go,
before I run. Yeah.
There you go. The reason I got you on here. This is so you said you really enjoyed Too Old to Die Young, right?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, listen to this for a second.
What's happening?
Fucking hell.
Fucking hell! Look at the ass.
As the masses public executions, propelled by the wrath of fascism. Concentration camps will be rebuilt.
All right,
Ignorance will be exalted. And there will be race wars. For hate will be rewarded and seen as truthful and beautiful. Faith will be reduced to venomous platitudes. A morphine-infested enslavement of thought. Perversity will be dignified. Incest, molestation, and pedophilia will all be praised. Rape will be rewarded. The few will have everything. And most will have nothing.
Okay, what's your point, Mandela?
Equal. Narcissism will no longer be pressed,
He's almost done.
but worshipped as a virtue. Indulging one's impulses will become instinctual. Our identities will be defined by the pain we cause. Pure, unadulterated nihilism will be the only solution in the face of glorious death. In time, we will have our own religion, our own dynasty, and with it, we will wake the true fury of the world. And as man implodes in a wash of blood and silence, a new mutation will emerge.
He's like crying in ecstasy, saying all this, right?
Yeah, that's what Ruffin is. I'm sure Ruffin's into psychedelics and shit like that. So when he writes this kind of crazy shit. But this kind of soliloquy is not original. People have said shit like this all in books and movies forever.
That's not
One day, man will be woman and woman will be man, and you won't be able to tell the difference, and blah blah blah. That kind of thing.
Sorry, pedophile and incest is going to be a virtue soon.
Yeah.
She says.
Yeah, but so what are you saying that's what Ruffin wants, or is that what he's saying? The character is he just making?
That's my point. Okay, I mean, she says something about fury right there, which I think is like a Bob, referring to Bob saying, about his fury line, right? But besides that, like, I feel like it crosses the line here. like of exposing something or glorifying something, and like you're into it. I mean, I thought this when I watched Neon Demon. I thought, oh, okay, this guy is like Lynch. He's pushing the boundary, but I think he's fucking way over the boundary here. With the Mew thing too, the new thing, like it's
Yeah,
this,
not that one the new thing, but yeah, he's out there. What do you want me to tell you?
spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen these series, by the way, of what I'm going to say
Don't
now.
spoil the new one. Too Old to Die Young is old, so you can spoil that
Okay,
one. But
in Too Old to Die Young, that hurt Jenna Malone's character. It references aliens, yes.
yeah.
Okay, so in have you finished Mew, James?
Have I finished what?
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm calling it Mew, Copenhagen Cowboy.
No, I've not finished it yet. No.
No, I mean, I don't think it either. Don't spoil that for me. I'm watching it.
All right then, but I don't. I'm.
He goes into weird shit. He's not. He doesn't go into.
I can't remember the aliens reference in Jenna Malone's character references Alien. I mean, she's not the main character hardly. She's not even really in it that much, is she?
Right before this scene, she's literally sitting on down in front of a computer watching a YouTube video about aliens.
Okay, isn't she? What's her character? Isn't her character fucked or something in that movie?
Her character,
I can't remember.
And she's talking about entities did this and that.
How does she relate to the main character?
She's the lady that hires the dudes that take out the pedophiles.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean,
the whole thing is about trafficking. I mean, right? There's a scene even like in the episode before this where it's like the cartel is basically telling you that they're funding this and that they are making real stories into like it's almost like a meta thing in the movie where the leader of the cartel, he's like a beta boy, which makes no fucking sense, but in this new age I guess it makes sense, right? I mean, I don't know, dude. I just you watch.
Well, it shows like violence and everything.
That you loved it, Voltaire.
It shows violence in different ways, doesn't it? It shows both the sort of more the typical way we're supposed to see violence as being like this kind of thing to withstand. You know, with the main character, I forget the name, Miles Teller. Like he's just like totally punished and everything throughout it and everything. But then there's the other, like the part where they're shooting the men at the end, who are I forgot exactly really what happened at the end.
You know what? Oh, you know what?
But it's almost like very anticlimactic, like as in.
You know what though? It walks that fine line in the fact that yes, the main character, the cop, is hired by Jenna Malone to take these guys out. So it's saying, yeah, we're taking out the bad guys, yes. But in the end, he gets like whipped to death. So it really has a horrible bad ending, like a pro-bad ending, combined with this speech that she just gave. It's trying to make a point that the cartel like owns Amazon, and like it's fucking crazy.
Well, it's not a happy ending. And Miles Teller's death is very sudden and shocking. You know what I mean? It's
the cartel owns
brutal torture porn. More like
it gets rough at the end. Well, what do you want?
He's been like this right from the start. Right. Like if you go back to his first films,
I get the Christ allegory because earlier the cops that's the best scene I thought where they reenact like Jesus and Mary Magdalene on the cross, like on his last day. I thought that was a scene in the movie, but and so when they're with and it's like a Christ allegory thing a little bit, but it just seems like unlike maybe Lynch, who I've always questioned whether or not he's exposing or saying really get in touch with your dark side, and like this guy is going over the line with these two series. I feel like it's obviously pro New World Order, weird Brave New World.
Well, I don't know. Does he present it? He doesn't present it in a positive way in Too Old to Die Young.
But when you say going over the edge, as in, you mean the impact it could have on a certain audience, like who probably would never even watch this in the first place, like
No,
So Mandela Man is wondering: is he exposing this dark world to people, like showing like here's a darkness that exists in the world,
yeah,
or is he trying to subvertly, or is he trying to get into people's subconscious and promoting this thing? And I think it's the former, not the latter. He's just exposing it the same way David Lynch did in a way. I don't think David Lynch was promoting any of that dark side. It's just that their brains go and their brains are fascinated with the evil in the world that does exist. You know what I mean? So I think
they're both into quite extreme filmmaking. Like Lynch himself has said that he likes really strong films, and like I said, I when I saw Blue Velvet when I was about 16 or so, I can't remember, probably 16, and I found it difficult to deal with.
I was about that age too. I think I was younger.
I think I would have been better if I'd had someone to talk to about it, or at least. But imagine back in the day if we'd had YouTube, so we could just look up Blue Velvet analysis, because I think just the sexual violence and stuff for me at that time, it just hit a nerve somehow, and I struggled
for me it was
with it
more
in a way.
what's his name's character with the gas. I'd never seen an insane person, a terrifying insane person, portrayed in such a real manner on TV, on a movie or something.
Well, yeah, he was the main problem for me as well because of the way he was dealing with Dorothy.
And he really, what the brilliance of the way that was directed is that if you're ever around, you felt like a character, like his character, you felt like you're on the edge and that person was going to attack or do something fucked up at any second. And he did a really good job keeping. I don't know if it's the performance more than the direction. Yeah,
it's just beyond even just psychotic. It's like completely uncontrollable.
Correct.
An unpredictable aspect that would.
Yeah.
And particularly a man of older, of course, and just the nature of it, the fact that it did go into surreal aspects, like with the inhalation of the gas and everything. But the thing is, it's not so surreal that you can't actually watch this and think this could be happening right now.
Which is what makes it more frightening, quite honestly.
Yeah.
If you guys look at like Jennifer Lynch's episodes of the Watcher series, her specific episodes, I think that those might, like I was telling James before you weren't on, I think those are like her answer back to like Michael J. Anderson's like Slur, because there's a whole theme in the Watcher where like the husband is accusing the neighbors of like satanic pedophilia.
Yeah, right.
Okay, if you really listen to the dialogue,
I don't know if there's pedophilia, but they were like sucking the blood of young people. Yeah,
something like adrenochrome or something. So
yeah.
If you listen to like the dialogue from those specific episodes, it's almost like she's saying like, oh, watch.
Yeah, but did she write that, or she didn't write it? She just directed it.
Yeah, you could do a lot with direction, bro, in a script.
Okay.
Well, I think there's something to be said. I will say how it's like we didn't get a press release from Lynch about any of that stuff.
What's he gonna do?
We got
Michael J. Anderson accusing me of being a pedophile and a child molester of my own and incest, whatever. That's all bull. That's all fake, and I'm hurt that he would say that. You don't address something that bananas. I think you just ignore it. Don't give it any air. No,
but that's true, and in the sense of the fact that it was addressed by Jennifer in itself almost makes it quite poetic. The whole situation. It's since he's accusing Lynch of doing the same thing that Leyland did in Twin Peaks. I mean, the whole thing almost seems like some kind of ruse, like as if it's an in-joke between all these people. I don't think that it was. I think that that's just Mandela. Sorry, I think that's Michael J. Anderson just going off on one, basically.
Let's make a big joke about pedophilia and molesting women. All right, guys, this will be a real laugh.
Well, no, that's an indication of how my mind works. Like this kind of that's going into sort of delusional conspiracy thinking in a strange way. But yeah,
want to see this director's kind of boxing Elena.
But I do think there's definitely something of the fact that Jennifer addressed it, because it kind of she after all wrote the book, Secret Diary of Laura Palmer, and that in itself lent it to people going,
How
why is
weird-
Lynch getting his own daughter to write this?
Right. How weird is
Well,
that?
if he actually did it, why the fuck would he let his daughter write it? Jesus.
It's not like that anyway. It's not like Lynch went, hey, my daughter's bloody good writer. Get this book done. ABC, you're going to give it to her.
He alleges.
And by the way, I did do some molesting of her at one point.
Voltaire, it's because in the occult and like Freemasonry and some of these organizations, they have like a thing where they have to tell you what they're doing to you. Like it's part of their, they believe in this magic crap. Like it's not something I made up. It's something they believe in. You know what I mean? Where there's like a duper's delight that they're able to like, you know, just show it straight to you, and you're just like clueless.
Yeah, I know, but like, I mean, come on.
Illuminati,
Like,
they love that.
when you talk about this kind of thing, like Freemasons somewhere in Derbyshire who are like these businessmen. I mean,
well, I'm not talking about like the first couple degrees. You know, this
we're
is
talking
like an organization.
You're talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce. I've seen videos popping up from these religious people, and they're like, you know, I've seen Beyonce going around with one of these rings on, and it's got like a kind of satanic figure on it and everything. But I mean, the thing is, it's like Ozzy Osbourne. Then he's like a 5th degree Freemason. He's writing to Satan. Look at that ass. Look at that ass. It's like, you know,
oh, but they got
now. But at the same time, I'm not mocking anything. I think that there are people
sounds
who
like
are.
It's Gandolfini that's the high degree Mason actor.
James Gandolfini was the highest degree.
I'm sorry, not Gandolfini.
Tony said, "Oh,
guy's name."
Well, that ended well, didn't it?
What the hell?
He made I mean, one of his last films was The Drop or something.
Not Gandalf. You guys are gonna call me to the mat.
But Tom Hardy, that was a really good film, and I think you've not even seen it yet, Walter.
which one? Sorry."
One of the last films that Gandolfini did with it's mainly Tom Hardy and that Noomi Rapace, you know, who's known for the Alien film, the Prometheus.
Oh, no, I
Sorry, boys.
They always got Arian for the predictable "I'm from Eastern Europe" role. I don't speak much American. I don't know what accent that was. That's not.
There you go. Mandela Man, according to Phantom Cooper, Freemasons are the most mundane people you'll ever meet. They aren't as mysterious and evil as you think.
Phantom Cooper has been hanging around with a lot of Freemasons recently.
It's just a frat house for lame adults. I like that. That sounds like a fun place to hang out.
Yeah, but within that, I mean, even if you think about like when the founding fathers, some of the earlier presidents, we have that there's like a family that always has their relatives like who happen to be Freemasons, like become presidents. I mean, this is been a thing. We had to have like an anti-Masonic party started. That was the first like 2-party system we had in America. You know, it wasn't Republican and Democrat. It was the Masons, and then the first people that even go against them was the anti-Masonic party.
I just would like to highlight this, especially at this point. This is a fantastic article you can get in the Blue Rose magazine. Seeing Double, exploring the lamps of the Red Room. Fucking hell.
That's great.
Fucking hell.
I'll read anything about the Red Room. Are you fucking playing PlayStation while you're doing this video, Mandela? You're playing fucking Donkey Kong?
Actor's name.
He is. Jesus Christ.
No, Jungle Donkey Kong or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Jr.
Okay. Yeah. Did you watch Slash 49, Voltaire? Like I recommend.
No, I have never. There's a lot of things I haven't gotten around to watching. What do you want me to tell? Everybody blows a load over this White Lotus show.
Get to see Emmett T. Walsh do a semi-Wyndham type character in it, though.
Well, there's Scott Ryan himself.
Before he, passed away.
I do hope he does come on and let you do an interview of him, James. I do think that would be interesting for everybody.
I wish he would do it, but right now I'm not sure. If I don't order all his books, he might not come on.
I don't think that's a contingency on his part.
Oh, I don't know, because I don't really want the one on Twin Peaks now. I'm not so bothered about the Lost Highway. I don't mean to be horrible. I don't have any issues with the Lost Highway. I just I think they
I
filmed
think
more
you
for
can watch-
it. If they had a kind of a full director's cut version of it, it'd probably be better.
Well, I think a director's cut of all of Lynch's films would be, except for fucking Inland Empire, would be better.
Wish we had a decent.
Well, I think that was already the director's cut. I mean, 3 hours
Yeah.
is quite enough, isn't it? And
I just
know-
want to see the Dune thing. I'm surprised that they offered that to him and he said no.
Why are you surprised?
It's just a bummer because he's always said it's a great sadness. Like, well, okay.
What you think? Oh, I see. So he could release a Lynch cut,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah, I want to see the
Not
version.
interested in
I
film
want
it.
it.
What do you want to tell you?
Man, it's a bummer. That and American Chronicles. Those are my David Lynch white whales right
I think
there.
I'm going to watch this evening. I think I'll watch that. What's that? The Black Phone, James. You saw that film, right?
yeah, with Ethan Hawke.
Yeah. Well, you
It's
saw
actually
that
a pretty good
Mandela?
film. I've watched most of Barbarian, and I was just like, not very impressed. I was watching it and looking at the phone at the same time, which I've started to do, which is terrible, I know, but it's not really very impressive, is it? I mean,
It looks like boring of a plot. Like
it's got some shock elements in it that aren't bad.
It's developed a really big following, though. People like that movie.
It's on the Disney Channel. It's like, yeah, and precisely why the hell is it called Barbarian? It's just
No idea.
people stuck
How
in a
far
house
along?
and
Did you
people in
get
a
far
tunnel.
flashback scene and all that?
Well, I'm at the last half hour, so
Oh, so you saw the flashback scene.
yeah. What's the flashback of?
The guy who owns the house.
Oh yeah, of course, I'm in that whole thing. I mean, he makes the film worth watching to some degree. Justin Long, so, but
Yeah, no, not Justin Long. Yeah, there's that flashback. There's another flashback, but the original owner of the house.
oh right, I'll better get to that then, and then I'll watch the whole thing.
Oh,
It's only
okay.
the last half hour I need to see. So.
Well, I think it's more. It's earlier though. Well, whatever. Anyway, yeah, you might as well finish it. And trust me, it's not. I'm not saying it's a fantastic film. It is interesting. I'll say there's something about it that's watchable to me. You know,
It's a bit TV movie. It's a bit sort of. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing particularly remarkable about the way it's made, filmmaking, like the images and stuff. It's very just bland.
Well, somebody very clever in one of these film groups on Facebook took the poster where it says "smile" and they wrote over it "bore." That's very clever, I thought, but I haven't seen the film.
That's a different film, right?
No, they changed it to "bore" as though implying that "smile" is boring.
Yeah, but we're not talking. We're talking about Barry, and you suddenly just gone to Smile, right?
You went to "Smile." You said you watched "Smile."
It seems stupid to me.
No, I didn't.
Am I crazy, Mandela Man, or did he say he saw "Smile"?
I don't remember that.
No, I didn't. If it sounded like that, I was talking about saying I talked the last 30 minutes or something like that. I'm not seeing Smile.
I jumped timelines for a second there.
I'm only halfway through.
In
the-
another
No,
timeline,
Gary
instead of Barbarian, we're
North
talking
in the chat is
Smile.
saying he watched Smile.
Yeah, no, I think
You're
I jumped
confusing me.
timeline.
You're confusing me with Gary because we are very similar.
Well, I think
Many-
we jumped timelines. I think
Many people confuse us.
I'm experiencing Mandela Man. Has that ever happened to you? You jump, you all of a sudden. I think in another timeline we were talking about "Smile," and I jumped for a second there.
Yeah,
Maybe you went into a timeline based in Essex, where Gary lives.
you
And,
guys,
it was not Yorkshire, where everyone was going fucking hell.
All right, Phantom Cooper says she heard you say "Smile" too. So there you go.
Oh, this is bullshit now.
you guys saw that message I put that. Did I ever mention to you that Stay Puffed had changed to Stay Puff? Because
Yeah.
he just changed back. I remember when I was a kid, I used to call him Puff, and my dad made it a special thing to teach me that no, it's Puffed.
You really are just.
I have like a specific memory with that. You know what I mean? So it's back to Puffed. It's been Puff for like the last 6 years. So I'm wondering if in any episode we did that I might have mentioned that because now
Yeah, I've heard you make this comment before.
Now
So you
would have, if we found that,
We're on the Shelley Duvall train of thought right now.
we would have evidence that, if we could find that episode, I should be saying, look, it changed to Puff, but it should still say Puffed as we're looking at it. And as we're looking at it, we're talking like as if it changed. That's what should be there now, according to mechanics of this thing. You know what I mean? makes it very confusing to try to, tell that to people. Like, explain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've no memory of actually saying smile. It could have sounded like I said that because of my accent or something.
Okay, right there. She spelled Mandela with 2 L's. That's how it originally was. Yeah, but it's not that way anymore. But
Anton Cooper's doing that just to kind of push you over the edge.
Cooper.
When you see those 2 L's, you're like, what the fucking hell?
Oh, yeah. Look at the ass on that.
2 L's?
Fucking L. 2 L's.
Do you know that Lynch on his weather reports last year, at one point he said, today it is 23rd of February 2041, and they didn't correct himself or anything. So it's like,
oh man, maybe that's a clue.
Or maybe he's having a senior moment.
What?
How many seniors go just say it's 2041 though? Even if it's not, even if you're having a bit of some kind of,
he doesn't live a regular life, right? Where he has to follow any kind of calendar unless he's working, which like on a film, which he's not. What's he doing though? He's not working on a film set. He's basically retired.
We don't know what he does in every day though, do we? Because
I think he just putters around his shop.
People have said he does do stuff at the moment. He's even had some kind of filming going on, with his own kind of studio, whatever that is.
So they've been saying, but there's been no evidence of that.
But why would there be evidence? With Lynch, he's going to go, hey up everybody, my new video, I'm making this, and it's got Cheryl Lee over here, guess who she's playing? And then Cal McLaughlin, he's going to be playing Paula.
Yeah, but just how long have people been saying that though, right?
Oh, they've been saying that over about the last half year, this kind of stuff.
But I'd say it's more like 18 months.
But he's the only artist.
Well,
I feel like those rumors started sometime in early 2021. Correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe you're right. I don't think
you're as down the rabbit hole as I am. So
no, of course not. No, but listen, I don't want to be negative. I hope he's working on something. So
no, I said like at the start of this video, there was a post by Cal McLaughlin saying "Happy birthday" and all the great milestones. Here's to plenty more milestones, with us too. Like.
I saw
pictures of him and them. Like, why would he put that if they weren't doing something already? Come on.
A stone is laid.
Well, I mean, but Kyle's cock teased a few things, hasn't he? To make you think that something's going on. That's the only reason
Just to sell his wine, yeah. Everything's about selling wine.
It feels that way.
He's going to put pictures up. He put up all these pictures of himself with Kyle, and then the last one is him, a bigger picture, though, with him with wine, saying, by the way, my wine is the important thing. Buy it.
David Lynch loves my wine.
Okay, now
maybe if you buy some.
Yeah, David Lynch says my wine's the best. Get it?
Well, Francis Ford Coppola is all about the wine, and he's working on a new film. So
yeah, with his own money.
Yeah, and Lynch is the only artist in Hollywood that I know that.
What's more interesting about that Francis Ford Coppola thing is that
spoilers not getting out about for him it's like an obsession. Like he doesn't want.
But at the end of the day, why is Netflix
gives me hope
going to put a film of Lynch with a monkey up there? Unless they agree to do something with him in the future.
They put that piece of shit. They paid him for that piece of shit for future business. You're absolutely right.
What's so strange?
There's no.
I wouldn't go so far as to describe it as that piece of shit, as you would say. I actually thought it was in itself relatively funny.
Well, it's not worth paying for.
Bear in mind, he made that for a festival,
right? And it would be good if he popped it up on his YouTube channel.
It's not made for Netflix.
No. But Netflix paid for it, and you're 100% right.
We're going to watch tonight. Yeah, we'll watch Lynch talking to a monkey for 20 minutes.
If you don't,
that's a YouTube video. But hang on one second. The reason I'm saying they paid for that. They don't just pay for something like that. They paid for that as like a good faith thing for future business. There's just
they gave him $10 million for that.
Jesus Christ, I'd like to know what they gave him for it.
If you
might only give him like $250,000 or $250,000, something like that.
If you
gave him that much, that's still a lot for Lynch because
that's ridiculous. Yeah,
he can do a lot with that. So
yeah.
If you don't buy himself like a Corvette, go screeching around the streets in it, buy more monkeys,
more cardboard to fix his pants.
Yeah, more cardboard to just put in and glue to put all over his crotch where he's, pissed himself.
Pissing himself, yeah.
Voltaire, you don't associate the monkey with like the monkeys we see in Fire Walk with Me?
No.
Yeah, it's
that is the same monkey that was used in Fire.
Same thing, yeah.
I thought that was debunked.
No, dude, it's all. I feel like
well, I don't know. We really need to look into how long these monkeys.
The series,
but the monkey that was used in Fire. No, seriously, the monkey that was used in Fire Walk with Me is the same monkey they had in Friends.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, Friends was on when in the 90s.
Yeah, but that's bullshit. I mean,
I don't mean the same monkey.
That monkey's like a whore. Like when he's in like a serious artistic film with
I don't
Lynch,
think
and then
it's
he's
the
like,
same
"Oh
monkey.
yeah, I'll do the Friends, like this stupid comedy show." Like you, bitch.
The monkey didn't have a say in it. The handler.
That monkey has just had no talent, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, the talentless monkey. I remember when I had a girlfriend in Santa Monica, and we were walking through the promenade, and somebody had one of those little monkeys, and he would just sit there, and people would gather around. The monkey would dance, and then if you brought $1 or a coin, you could go and hand it directly to the monkey, and he would shake hands with you. And the girl I was banging at the time, or dating at the time, it was like one of those, that same monkey. She was an animal lover, and she was so excited when she saw it. And I gave her a $5 bill, and she went up and she almost started crying. She was so happy because it was so, But that could have been the same monkey. It could have been the same monkey handler. Because what the fuck's that guy doing when he's not getting a 2-second scene in Fire Walk with Me or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Friends would have been a steady job. But that monkey was not even in Friends that much, I don't think.
Yeah.
What's so weird?
Apparently he was molesting people on set.
He was known for that.
What's so weird about that?
Mainly David Schwimmer.
That Netflix thing is that okay? It's something that Lynch did at a festival before, but when they air it and he refers to it as that show. Like, why would you?
I don't know. He made a story about a monkey that fucks chickens. What do you want?
Well, it's the fact that
well, it's like he wants to have a show on Netflix. I think that's what it's about.
Twin Peaks comes back, like you make a point of calling it The Return as if it's like this is.
According to an interview with Sabrina Sutherland, that was not his idea. And
they were obsessed with calling it a film rather than a TV show.
Well, they insisted on the return. He just called it season 3.
Oh, we don't know. It never had a title or anything like in his mind.
Lynch called it season 3, she said, and Showtime called it The Return. That's what she said in an interview, for whatever that's worth. She's been known to lie herself, though.
It's just weird that he would call that monkey thing a show. Like, there's only one episode. It's not a show. A show by definition is more than one episode, unless it's just a pilot.
I think anything that's not a movie is a show to him.
But he describes the Twin Peaks: The Return as a movie. So
if that monkey is, if in the like to me, that chicken reference is you're referencing,
what are you talking? A monkey that's fucking chickens and he's getting arrested for it.
It's a code. Okay.
What do you think? What does that mean? What's that code? Here's a monkey engaging in the illegal activity of fucking chickens, and now somebody comes to arrest him. What's that an allegory for? I'm asking.
It's Lynch trying to expose the head of Netflix. And what's so clever is he actually made it in 2016.
Clever as
hell. And tried just to get it picked up by Netflix to expose them.
Well,
and when they saw it, the film is ideal. This will be a mainstream hit. It's just so appealing to everybody.
If Wisteria is like I think it's going to be, where it's technically a different show, but it has elements and things connected to Peaks, then maybe it makes sense to call that one episode with the monkey, same monkey from before, a show.
There's no evidence that that's a monkey from before.
I think it is.
Walk with me, monkey.
Next time we're on, I'll go through my copy.
Where's Cameron? I feel like Cameron would have investigated.
There's the monkey mask you see at the end, which is like half man, half monkey. But earlier on, there is just a monkey. It's like in a red room. It flashes. It's not like a super, like it doesn't hold on the monkey super long.
So back to the main topic. So is he working on something else? I hope so. I mean, but it's been you know, could they do like an El Camino thing, meaning like nobody knew the whole thing was existed until like 3 weeks before they dropped it? That would be fantastic. I mean, what a treat that would be if that's the case.
If anybody's gonna do it, it's this guy.
Well, yeah, he likes secrecy. It's hard to keep things secret. You can do it though. I mean, they did that with El Camino. They did it with Luke Skywalker and the Mandalorian. So there's things it can be done. It's challenging, but then every once in a while you go on Reddit and people post, yeah, it's known in Hollywood that he's been filming something, and people who are in the industry know he's filming something.
I mean, Voltaire. We just saw that you saw the Fablemans, right? Or his scene.
No, I have no interest in that movie.
You saw his scene.
The film is good though.
I saw the little clip that.
If you listen to what Mandela Man said about it, it actually sounds pretty
awesome.
Not what you're expecting. It's not just about people sitting around saying, "Oh, let's make a film." You know?
Good stuff.
I don't know. I feel like isn't it like some kind of letter of filmmaking by Steven Spielberg? I mean,
no, it's not like just someone Spielberg. But let's make a film about UFOs.
It's a return to
form. Adopted daughter with her OnlyFans.
It's not about that. Doesn't feature in it.
That'd be a more interesting film to me.
No, it does have some strange sexual aspects to it. So
yeah, it's
but in that clip that I saw of Lynch in the Fablemans, he seems pretty with it. He seems like he's still got he's still functioning at a good level, which was positive.
Well, if he's functioning, that's always positive, I think.
No, that's what I mean. You know what I mean? He's still not a doddering old person. There's two kinds of elderly people. And, you can look at my dad and my mom. My mom is not doing well. My dad, 78, he's still doing pretty good, moves around good. He's working. His brain functions pretty well. Some 78-year-olds are just, that's not the case, sadly. So
he can decline quite quick, though, if you just due to different reasons, and especially if you're immobilized and things like this. It's due to whatever ailments.
Sure.
But again, I mean, like those people in that fucking hell video. I mean,
there's a lot of it's to do with genetics. What do you want to do?
Yeah, you can let your body just sort of
atrophy.
Decline.
Yeah, but my dad was not especially. He was never like a big exerciser. He was always a bit somewhat overweight. He didn't drink or smoke though, but he didn't eat well. That's for damn sure.
Though. Yeah, but not drinking and smoking in itself can be beneficial.
I think so.
For sure. I mean, that's an amazing statement I just gave you there. I think.
Well, my point was that you saw.
I think that should be a health warning on posters. Not drinking and smoking can be beneficial.
Voltaire.
That's really a real. I got to write that down.
Voltaire, you saw the scene.
Health Insights.
Here on Coffee Time of Lynch in the movie, though, right?
Yeah, before his channel was taken down, I saw some of it. Yeah.
Okay, so he plays John Ford, and it's a double.
I don't even know who John Ford is.
Okay, well he's
a famous director who made a lot of westerns.
He's not that famous if I don't know who he is.
Well, he made all the
best. You're not really into loads of anything beyond Hitchcock, are you? And stuff.
Correct. Correct. And Michael Bay. That's it.
Hitchcock and Michael Bay, yeah, they are equally good.
Okay, here's my point, boys. In the movie Voltaire, Spielberg's character, the kid who's playing Spielberg, is led into this room where they say, you're going to meet would you like to meet the greatest director of all time? And it's David Lynch playing John Ford. So the joke there is, yeah, John Ford was the best back then, but Lynch is the best here now. I mean, it's not even a joke. It's just a meta thing.
Is he?
Okay, my point is, you have that in this movie, which, yeah, he is, dude.
He's not.
Okay, Kubrick's
bad. Kubrick is superior, though I hate to say it.
For God's sake, can we not have an argument about who's the best director? This is just.
Right. I'm sorry, it's not David Lynch anymore. He has his last two projects have been middling.
Phantom Cooper says Volatile.
That's insane.
Earlier.
Middling.
Voltaire, you're just going mental now. Come on.
What? Inland Empire was better than middling?
No, to me, it's one of the best.
I think it's one of the shittiest.
No, but I don't really go on. First of all, the initial premise of last couple of projects for a director who's now 77. It seems a bit surely we all accept as directors or any artist gets older and things.
My-
It's like comparing later albums by a band to their first stuff. It's just
I
it's a
feel-
fool's errand, isn't it? In a way, it's
Mm-hmm.
they're all different. You know, like with Lynch, how can you compare Inland Empire to say Blue Velvet? It's just completely different. It's its own thing. You know,
I feel like Orson Welles, Hitchcock, Lynch, and Kubrick are the best and the only ones that's still around who's appearing in a Spielberg movie as what he considers to be the best director of all.
Sorry, who'd you say are the best? Hitchcock, who?
Hitchcock,
Oh.
Orson Welles,
Uh-huh.
Kubrick, and Lynch.
Uh-huh.
Those are my.
What about Scorsese?
He's almost there, but he's not. It's not.
Mhm.
Doesn't do it for me. Like
Okay.
yeah, but I mean, to compare John Ford and David Lynch,
okay, he's appearing in this movie as the best, supposedly, as far as Spielberg's concerned. It would be crazy in the age of streaming for them, with him getting older on in years, for nobody to be throwing like buku bucks at this guy to make whatever. He could.
Okay, so what about this? Okay, so sorry.
He
I'm
could.
going to cut you off about because of that last statement. Martin Scorsese could not get The Irishman made anywhere. No studio would make it. Martin Scorsese couldn't get a movie with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci in it. Think about that. He couldn't get that movie made.
We have the film coming with De Niro and
No, it came out on Netflix, but he didn't want to do it there. But no studio would make it.
Not The Irishman, Voltaire. There's another one coming.
Yeah, those guys are too old. Whatever.
Well,
my point is they can't get everything made. Lynch, I think that Showtime threw all that money at him, and then the studio saw, and they have to give him creative control, and they saw it, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to throw any more money at David Lynch to do something."
They're fucking morons. They're fucking morons. Look, we're in an age where like Snyder Cut things are happening, where like it's becoming obvious when the studio doesn't give somebody full director's cut on something, then it gets screwed to hell. It becomes something aggressively mediocre. My favorite.
So another example is actually Too Old to Die Young. I think Amazon gave Refn too much control on that. He could use some editing on that thing, and I loved it. But
The pregnant pauses
tightened up for the masses.
The pregnant pauses like drove me insane.
Part of his thing. Why do you think he loves what's his name? Ryan, not Ryan Reynolds. Is it Ryan? No, what's the other Ryan Gosling? In his films, because the guy just doesn't say anything. If you watch, what's the one with Ryan Gosling where he's Only God Forgives? I love that movie. Stylistically, it's wonderful. I mean, he doesn't talk. Drive, he barely talks in the film. Miles Teller, same thing in Too Old to Die Young. He's like barely talks in the movie, but he's good in it. He just spits. He spits a fucking assload in that movie.
I love the spit. That was a cool.
You thought that was cool, did you?
Yeah. At first I was like, nah, but after a while it became like his trademark kind of thing.
Yeah, it was his trademark.
And he was disgusted when the shit went over the line for him. Like
he was a cop and he was banging a high school girl. Her father's character was fascinating. I thought that was
was all that. Like he is hunting the thing that he is. The like one left hand don't know what the right hand's doing, right?
Yeah, it's interesting.
I thought that was great, yeah, but I'm just saying, like it's becoming apparently like hella obvious with this dude that.
What do you think about the gay porn scene? The beginning of that one episode with the gay porn scene.
I don't remember. I remember like.
You mean the bit where someone's imprisoned a bit?
The cartel's wife, goddess lady, like
No. What? You remember they got that kid? He's about to film a scene, and they're all these cowboys. Yeah. What do you think of that?
That was like
Wasn't it like he was being kept against his wishes or something?
That's
they were about to film the scene, and then they gave him a drug to sort of get him going. You know.
I enjoyed that scene a lot.
Yeah, it was very dark and it was very fucked up. I gotta say, it was super fucked up. And I'm not saying I liked it, but when a movie it affected me like that, I was like, ugh. When a director can do that, you know what I mean? Without
you should watch his first films. He made a whole trilogy of these like
the Pusher films, right? Yeah. I've tried. I mean, you know how I feel about subtitles, but yeah.
Well, they
And,
call
and,
them.
and it's they're bad quality. Like the filming is just bad. The film,
Yeah, compared to especially what we're used to now, they
yeah,
look
they're really shot
kind
shitty.
of grainy and stuff,
Yeah, right,
But they were low budget. That's how he
Yeah.
started off.
right.
So if you see where he came from, it's.
Mm.
But yeah, I do understand what you're saying about the editing and stuff. Like
Thematically, like
even with Copenhagen Cowboy, it's like this is only 6 episodes, but it's like this is so slow, and the whole thing is like basically just one long dream sequence.
So that doesn't bother me. I can handle slow stuff if it's good. Like people complained about that about Dune. I didn't find it. It didn't bother me. This doesn't. His stuff doesn't bother me either, because that Refn really creates a world. Even like there's a scene in Mandela Man is making me remember Too Old to Die Young. There's a scene. Remember the long fucking scene where the 2 cops are standing in front of their cars chatting. What were they chatting about? And then some. It's just long and drawn out with like moderate dialogue. I think it's like he just knows how to do it. Even his tracking shots, like when he's in a bar, like Scorsese does it. It's quick. It's moving around. His tracking shots like that are slow.
With him panning left to right, along
Yeah.
and maybe even all the way around. I mean, okay, that's becoming part of his style. But do we have to keep does it have to be so many of those?
He likes it. What do you want me to tell you? I mean, I mean, did you like Too Old to Die Young? But did you like it, Mandela?
I like it, but here's my point, dude. When I before I even seen these 2 new shows, when I watched Neon Demon, I sat down with like a box of nitrous, and I thought to myself, okay, time to pop on the newest New World Order disc and see what we have in store for ourselves, like down the line in the near future. Here we go. And then that was when I watched Neon Demon. Okay. The clip I just played you in the Too Old to Die Young is literally her verbatim saying what that is gonna be.
Okay.
I already
what is a box of nitrous?
I already
Nitrous oxide, what the fucking guy from Blue Velvet was taking. So Mandela Man was getting stoned off his tits on nitrous, like
That's
the guy from Blue Velvet. And then he watched a Refn film.
How did you take it, Mandela Man?
It's inhaling. It's like the gas they give you at
Just like it. Whatchamacallit? Just like Blue Velvet, he took it.
Well, it gives you it comes with a mask.
No, it comes. You buy this. They sell it right up. They sell it like a block from here at the cigarette shop, and they sell you put the little containers in here, and go like that. It's legal here. Which blows my mind. It should not be legal.
Nitrous is legal?
Yes.
What kind of effect does it have?
Legal in Illinois.
Remember, nitrous is laughing gas. It's what they use to dentists.
Whip it. Yeah, it's like that's used for like cream.
Yeah, it's a laughing gas, right? Like he's saying.
People have it here as well.
Like your car laughing gas. That's the bad shit that has sulfur in it. This is just the clean stuff that the dentist would give you. But yeah.
And so then he starts doing like acting like the guy in Blue Velvet too.
You can only do it once or twice a year because
Frank Booth.
It kills too many brain cells.
Okay, my mistake. Dan Peake says Frank Booth was actually inhaling pure Mandate. That might be true, but I think it was supposed to be. James, is that what happens when you get right there to the pure source of Mandate inhaling?
Why do you think he was putting lipstick on?
Mandate? Put it on all over.
Frank Booth.
This is all I've got at the moment, Mandate. It's just a balm, but I recommend it.
That's been diluted in a way.
It's not the pure Mandate, that isn't.
By the way, it's Paul Giamatti that is the 32nd degree Freemason.
Yes, somebody mentioned that earlier in the chat.
I've seen Fear X a long time back. That's got
I
John
have not.
Turturro in it. That's a good film, as far as I remember. But I know I was never even aware it was by Refn. So,
but I love Drive. Drive is a wonderful film as well, and
that was like a
I will. I've said I've been a bit dismissive of it previously, but I think overall it is a really good film.
It was a breath of fresh air in Hollywood.
The guy knows how to shoot a film. He knows how to his cinematography, his direction. It can be long sometimes, but the guy knows how to shoot a film.
It just seems pro. It seems pro.
And he knows how to make characters that look even like I've only seen the first episode of the new thing. Even like the the guy fucking his wife and making the pig sounds, and when he's getting beaten, making the pig sounds, it makes me want to watch out and see what the hell's going off with this thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fine line
I
between
make that
taking
pig
it
sound when
too
I make
seriously.
sex on a woman. I go, and then when I blast on her, I really make the pig noise. But
well, but in a more ethereal sense, in the second episode, there's this whole moment where it's incredibly Lynchian. It's almost like a tribute to Lynch, I think.
I forget what they are, but there's numerous like things in both these series that are like call outs to Lynch. Yeah.
Well, he obviously likes his style. He obviously watched what's it called? I think every director's watched God, how can I not remember the title?
That's what I'm saying.
Black and white one, the black and white film. What's the hell?
I'm saying
Eraserhead.
Eraserhead and
Brown Forever. I feel like we did this.
I think Twin Peaks is one of the biggest influences.
Damn streaming service.
Firewalk with Me. Anyway. For the surrealist aspects of his stuff and Mulholland Drive. Like those movies have a feeling. Mulholland Drive has a feeling to it, Same with Twin Peaks, same with Firewalk with Me, and to a lesser, and also the Fist of Love movie also has a feel to it. A lesser extent.
There's a film called The Fist of Love.
Yeah,
yeah. You're now retitling Lynch's films.
Is it not called The Fist of Love?
No, Lost Highway.
Oh, Lost Highway.
It probably would have been a box office massive success if it was called The Fist of Love, to be honest.
I love that movie. I don't know. You need to rewatch it like I did.
Bro, that's a good
I'm not saying I don't like it.
Rewatch it, I said.
I've watched it plenty of times, but I will watch it. I've got no problem. I'm not sure why you love it.
It's that somebody popped it. Somebody popped it up on YouTube. We know who that group. I don't want to get them banned, so I don't want to mention it. They popped it up. They once in a while pop up full feature films, and I guess they're such a small channel, YouTube doesn't catch them. So it made me rewatch it out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting to, and I fortunately caught it at the beginning. And it's just a fantastic film. I mean, I forgot how cool it was. There's some really good scenes in it. It's well done. It's not as good as Mulholland Drive or Firewalk with Me. Certainly not. Those are his two best films.
Empire.
Get out of here.
I'm serious.
Look, he has 3 fantastic films, and then the other ones are good. Like Mulholland Drive, Firewalk with Me, and Eraserhead are fantastic, amazing films. And then you have your Lost Highway and Wild at Heart. You know what I mean? Lost Highway is certainly better than Wild at Heart. Although Wild at Heart is good, but Lost Highway is superior. There's a gap between Lost Highway and Wild at Heart.
Can somebody please answer this question from Cameron? Why would Scott Wright block me? My shows get more of an audience than magazines he sells.
Oh boy, that's a little dig by Cameron, a little fighting fire with that kind of comment. He's hurt by the blocking. So he's lashing out. That's all. I can't blame the man for being hurt. I mean, it's hurtful to block somebody.
Watch it fisting on the highway.
Yeah.
Well, I want to end the show now.
Great emoji to add there, Gary. It's very appropriate.
Well, if Mandela Man, do you think you could possibly be available tomorrow and then you could come on? So,
yeah.
He has to go get pancakes on Sunday. He has pancakes every Sunday, don't you?
I don't like pancakes.
I haven't had pancakes in a long time. I'm craving them. I don't know why.
Right now, I really want to put my in a pancake, if you know what I mean.
Oh boy!
Put
it in a sausage roll.
Fuck yeah!
Look at the ass on that one.
Well, that's how you'd say it in New York.
Yeah.
Look at the ass on her.
In Chicago. Chilago.
So yeah, I'm going to go now tonight, and
that's enough.
if you two are both available tomorrow, that would be good.
Yeah, okay.
Just get.
I'll try to be there, boss.
Right, just
why don't you go to sleep now so you wake up? All right. Okay, fellas, have a good one.
All right. Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Night, everyone. Thanks for coming on. Thank you very much.
We will
now.
We will
hopefully see you tomorrow, all right?
Where else are we going to see them?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about, not just the audience.
I'm talking about in the trees, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know where we're going to see anyone apart from in the trees, but thank you everyone for watching. Bear in mind, everything is said on here in confidentiality.
Our opinions,
please. Yeah, precisely. And please don't repeat them to anyone else. Thank you. Thank you for the show. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate your comment. All the best for now.
Morgellons is definitely real, though. Look that up.
Yeah, I've already looked it up. Thank you. Bye for now, everyone. See you in the trees.